Hello, I'm Beelzebub, and welcome to the day in the life COVIDiots Afterparty. I'm about halfway through my second growler of beer, and I'm starting to feel good. I know sometimes my day in the life live streams can be a little bit of a downer, which is why I'm doing the more funny guy after party with some levity live stream. We should have Purple Rhymes with Orange here in a little bit. Trying to get people currently. Sadly, Triateal cannot join. Dog, would you like in? If you want. I have no idea what your Twitter at is, but mine is at Milzabub. If you would like to DM me, my DMs should be open. I can send you a link to this live stream. But yeah, some people just annoy me, and I mean this person really got there, and I, fortunately for me and them, didn't meet the guy. More or less, beer is good. That's the real moral of the story here. So in case you missed the original live stream, I went to grab the more beer, and on the way, all right, cool dog. On the way back to the house, Unicorn Cat and I stopped at the store so they could get some junk food because they were feeling it. And some idiot who currently has COVID walked up to them and said they were tired of wearing masks and that they already had COVID. There was a whole, like, the live stream we did was a whole 26-minute long to do. I won't go all the way into, but like, I'm not usually in favor of forced sterilization, but with some people, oh goddamn, some people, I don't know, but there is. I found the stink bug. I'm gonna do something about that real quick. I'll be back. I really do hate to leave you guys all alone to your own devices, only 3.5 minutes into a live stream, but
I'm all phobic of stink bugs.
Yeah, Unicorn is phobic of stink bugs, and they are a pestilence around here. I'd just sooner get rid of it. All right, I'm back. Sorry for abandoning you, but yeah, Tria, I am so much better, and my camera is so blurry. Hang on, this damn thing. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, so I am better. I still have more trouble than usual if I do like basic physical activity, like basic cleanup around the house, like just lightly cleaning up the garage will kind of tear up my lungs. I'm still dealing with that. I have a little bit of what the doctors and nurses at the VA clinic I go to, COVID brain, which basically is the confusion you get from COVID. Like inattention and confusion have I actually don't know where I was going with that. I'm just gonna chalk that up to COVID brain. I know I was talking about COVID brain, so I'm just gonna blame that real quick. Yeah, no worries, Tria. You can't hop in. It's nothing that can be helped. You're good. Like I said, Purple will be hopping in here soon, and Dog already said that they'll drop in soon as well. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to do a more happy drinking stream. I know that there are some people out there that enjoy watching me get drunk and angry. But actually Purple is among them. I'm actually not sure what Purple's pronouns are. I'll go with they just to be safe.
Just go with they.
God damn it, COVID brain hits again. Where was I going with that? Chat, help me out. Let's see. The crowd at the food bank last week had only one wearing a mask, and it was under his chin. Fantastic. Yeah, being an almost constant. Yeah, lockdown has sucked. It'd be nice if we could stop the lockdown, but people aren't willing to just stay at home for 50 days straight, which is like, seriously, the CDC recommended this, a year ago? Just stay at home. Don't go anywhere. Like, fuck around and find out. I know I need to hang out, but being isolated weirdly makes it harder to read. Yeah, it does. It really does. I get it. And I mean, for the 2 weeks that I had COVID, it was so boring. It was hard. I'm not gonna try to sugarcoat that. It was difficult to not go anywhere. Like the only places I went while I had was with COVID was to the bathroom and to the kitchen for food. that was it. That's all I did. I didn't go anywhere else. There was no pass and go collecting $200, although I would take $200 right now. Although I'd prefer the $2,000 monthly checks that I was promised by Biden, fucking Welcher. But yeah, it's like, I mean, getting COVID just through my life, like it just completely in a wood chipper. I mean, like the day I got the call back saying I tested positive, I had a job interview. Yeah, it was great. But so I had to call and cancel, just be like, hey, I have COVID. I can't come in for a job interview because I don't want to, get my interviewer sick. Which is great. So, job opportunity lost. Yeah, and there's like nobody hiring around where I'm at. Hey, dog, how's things?
Hello, mate. Sounds like you had a day of it.
See, with the exception of that one thing, I had a really good day.
Well, sadly, even here in the UK, we've got our idiots, mate. Only yesterday, in a local store of ours, there was a guy who says, "I can't wear a mask. I have asthma," and I can safely say now that that COVID wearing a mask does not cause asthma attacks. Contaminants in the air cause asthma attacks.
Yeah, so if anything, a mask actually helps prevent asthma attacks.
Exactly. And I can't breathe.
Yeah.
It doesn't help me breathe. But if you can take a lungful of air wearing a mask, you're breathing, as far as I'm concerned. You're all idiots.
Like, I have asthma. I also have sleep apnea. I also wear a mask everywhere I go.
I think masks are around to stay, mate. I think they're going to be around for many, many years now. I think it's just going to be part of society worldwide.
Well, I mean, so is COVID now because Donald Trump was a thing and Americans decided to listen to him like morons.
Yeah, we have them people here. We have our anti-vaxxers and flat earthers and all these idiots that just talk absolute rubbish. But
I don't get it.
They're part of life. I remember the good old days in America when the idiots, someone would assassinate them, especially the politicians. What happened to
that? The Secret Service got better at their job.
Yeah.
How's it going, Perp?
I think I blame the internet. Okay. Hello, Purple.
By the way, Purple Unicorn Cat says hello.
Oh, hello.
I think they have a thing for you.
Oh, really? I just assumed I'd be way too old for them.
Don't say it, please.
I couldn't hear that.
Good.
They said good. Yeah, I mean, like, Fauci has said that he expects COVID to basically be a seasonal thing now because steps weren't taken to kill it where it slept and just stay home for 15 days a year ago. Yeah. Let's see. Mask giving me a headache after about an hour. It's due with my peripheral vision. Yeah. Nobody out there is saying masks are comfortable. And I don't get this straw man that people are saying.
Actually, when the weather dropped below zero, they were very comfortable.
Yeah, they do warm you up. I'll give it that.
Yeah. But I mean, overall,
that's one of the things I found really strange is that there were people who were bitching about they couldn't breathe through a mask, and yet when they stepped outside, they wrapped a scarf across their face.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's nuts.
There's also them people as well who've had their injection, their vaccine. I think they don't have to wear a mask. And they do. Wear a fucking mask all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they still wear a mask because they're not stupid.
Oh no, the idiots are saying, "No, I've had my vaccine now. I don't need to wear a mask." Wrong. You have to wear a mask.
Yeah. Like, so even after I become eligible for a vaccine, like I said in the live stream, you have to wait about 2 weeks before the vaccine is fully kicked in. From what I understand it, I just spoke with my RN that works with my doctor yesterday. She said it takes about 2 weeks for the vaccine to fully kick in. And even then, still do all the procedural shit to help prevent the spread.
Mention what I said about how people get vaccines all the time and still get sick for whatever they got vaccinated for.
That's for a different variety of a disease, though. Although
yeah,
there are,
happen with viruses.
yeah, there are more variants of COVID now.
Yeah, but
Because some people decided to fuck around and find out.
Well,
Yeah, that's the part I'm worried about, that with the new strains popping up, by the time I get the vaccine, is there going to be a strain that it doesn't protect against?
yes.
Well, I mean, there already is.
well,
Yeah, the current vaccine only will protect you from SARS-CoV-19, which is the original variant that has been fucking up the planet for the last year plus a few months. It doesn't protect against the new variants that have popped up in, I think the UK was one of the first countries to get it.
Yeah.
but you have to bear in mind that the virus itself will mutate hundreds of thousands of times a day.
Yeah.
And obviously, certain variations will stick out. I think it's about 10 or 11 now have actually stuck out. But apparently, the vaccine is still effective against them at the moment.
Yeah.
See what I can see it being. I can see it being like a sort of flu situation. It'll be like a yearly jab that everyone will get.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously,
yeah, that's what I'm expecting. That
obviously,
every year they'll have to reformulate it for whichever strain they think is going to be most likely to pop out.
well, that's right. Yeah. At the moment, obviously, it's all a scramble. The whole world is in fear of this thing and terror, and it's all scrambling to get it under control.
Yeah.
Once it's under control, it'll.
I think it's going to keep mutating until each country has their own strain. It's going to get personalized.
Well, yeah, but you got to remember this is very infectious, and once world travel is initiated again.
Yeah, once we've got planes going across the ocean every couple hours.
Yeah, then the whole world will be getting each other's strains, but it's a matter of just getting this initial bit, which I think has been blooming good. It normally takes a good few years to get something like this under control, but they've been on the ball. Although there's been mistakes made in the UK, especially, and America, we had Trump, and you had Trump, we had Johnson. Trump's obviously a conspiracy theorist in it for himself, merchant, and Boris Johnson is just a fucking idiot.
Yeah,
that's
well,
why.
You know what? Once Biden got in there and they started looking, they discovered that the Trump team never had a plan for it. Their actual plan was to just let people get infected to develop herd immunity so that we could get the stock market going again.
Yeah, here's the problem with herd immunity. Okay, it comes really one of two ways. The less catastrophic way is to get, I think the average is 80% vaccination in a region, and then the number probably sort of stagnates around there. I'm not 100% certain on the numbers. Don't listen to me. I'm a doctor. I'm not a doctor. Not a doctor. Not a doctor. Or the second way is catastrophic death tolls until herd immunity develops. For some reason, I prefer the one where people vaccinate. I don't know. It's a weird person.
But yeah, that's exactly it. But the economy's already knackered worldwide, but that'll come back quite quickly. I mean, people still need things. Obviously, the companies that are standing out at the moment are the delivery companies, Amazon and things like that, because people are staying at home. Of course, they're not going to the shops. But Trump was focusing more on the economy. He's worried about his money, and then the schools, which 6 months ago were just petri dishes. The schools are the way, and educate. You only have to scroll 10 tweets and you realise education has gone out the world. There's so many idiots on the planet that just speak their mind, really, and their mind is mush as far as I'm concerned. And education should be focused on, which a lot of people have these Zoom classes now, where online classes, which is good, but I don't think it's good as personal interaction. But I think where Trump and some of these world leaders, I mean, a few of them got it together. You look at the Asian companies, the Asian countries, Japan, China. I mean, they got it under. Well, they're used to it. I mean, a lot of these viruses do start off in countries where they handle a lot of exotic animals and eat them and things like that. But they got it under control quite quick. South Korea, I think, were the best at it. We need to now take a leaf out of their book, because trade is becoming so popular, worldwide trade now, that you need to focus on public health, where you get the likes of Trump was blaming China for everything. He stopped trade with them, which was stupid, because 30% of American trade is done with China. That would devastate the economy, but as long as his hotels are all right. But he'll be in prison soon anyway. Let's just send them. I think we should all send them a soap on a rope, chip in.
Well, I mean, at least he'll be clean.
Well, wipe that, wash that orange off him.
I think just the shower water by itself will do that. But I mean, like, oh man, fucking this shitty behavior, like particularly on the part of Americans, and we definitely bear the brunt of the blame for the whole COVID-19 situation perpetuating as long as it did. I mean, there are countries like New Zealand that last I read had completely opened back up because they had 0 new deaths, 0 new cases for months, because they followed fucking sensible guidelines that kept people safe.
Yeah.
Well,
New Zealand and Australia have pretty much got it under control.
I think the world has got it under control now. I think I don't blame America or the UK for getting it. It's a virus. It's a
blame
pandemic.
America or the UK for getting it, but I blame America for perpetuating it as long as it's gone on. This could have been over with by now.
What I blame America for is that we had several months warning before there were any significant number of cases, and we did nothing to prepare.
Oh, we all did. But the lack of response was pitiful from the UK and America. Trump this was a laughable statistic that when Trump said about the bleach injection, the bleach or whatever, I can't remember what he said. That bleach ingestion in hospitals in America went up 400%. And that was a statistic. It was laughable. As how many idiots are there out there that would drink bleach or inject it? It's wonder there wasn't any more deaths.
Yeah, but it came from someone that they considered to be an authority.
But COVIDiots are number one public health hazard in the world at the moment.
Yeah.
Second only to anti-vaxxers. I mean, your Bible thumpers and your flat earthers and whatnot, and your other conspiracy theorists are just idiots who talk nonsense.
Yeah, the Bible thumpers have been a plague on the U.S.
But the COVIDiots are number one public health hazard, and they need to be stamped on quickly. And fortunately, the social media are stopping them. They're picking them up and banging on them to banning them from their platforms and whatnot. I know Twitter are doing it for 12 hours or a week. I got a week's ban just for joking about it, just saying, I hope my vaccine 5G chips comes with Bluetooth, and I got a 7-day ban for that, just for joking. So I don't even mention it on Twitter now. There's no point in it, because they are stamping on it, and it's still not a big enough kick in the pants for these people, because they will still carrying themselves outside in the real world and just be idiots with out their masks and purposely coughing on people, and which is just the nastiest. They're the nastiest people in the world. They need to go to prison for that, things like that. That's basically assault as far as I'm concerned. But it'll never happen. The world will get over COVID, and these guys will go on living their lives thinking, "Oh yeah, I got away with it." Well, they won't even think they don't even think they're getting away with stuff, or they're doing anything wrong. They are just idiots. They deny this disease. Oh, I don't know anyone who's died from it. Well, I do. I have 5 people. I've lost both my parents to it, an uncle and a couple of friends, and I've known people and a lot of other friends that have had it and survived. One of them he was autoimmune, is suffering terribly out with long COVID. He can't breathe. And he could be like that for life. But these people don't care really.
Yeah, that's the problem. Until it's someone in their family, they don't take it seriously.
Yeah, oh my fucking shit! One of my uncles, before Unicorn Cat came to live here, he was one of these anti-mask people. Oh, it's fake news. Trump. He was one of those people, and one of his grandkids got it. And the case was so bad, his grandkid was on a ventilator. Suddenly, fucking masked up and acting like a fucking grown adult. Because it had become personal. And I hate that it has to take that long. It's ridiculous. Just act with fucking compassion and empathy towards other human fucking beings.
Well, that's the key word is empathy, and because you get these people who fall within that bracket where they think, oh, it won't kill me. So why? And they don't care about it, but they're still going to pass it on to others, the elderly, and people with already pre-existing conditions that COVID could kill them. But because it's not going to, because it's only going to give them a cold for a couple of weeks, or a flu type symptoms for a couple of weeks, they think, oh, well, it's not going to affect me, so fuck everyone else.
Yeah, it's just stupid.
Well, there's just no consideration for human life. That's all. It's selfish is inherent in all of us. I know that. I've been selfish throughout my life on certain things. Look after number one and that. But something like this, where there's people and friends and family, you want to look after them. Of course you do. Why should you pass this horrible disease onto everyone else?
Well, and unfortunately, we still don't know much about the long-term results. We know that it can cause permanent damage for some people, but we don't really know what that's going to amount to 2 or 3 years down the road.
Well, that's right. I mean, people think, oh, we know all about COVID. We know nothing about COVID.
Yeah.
There's not enough. There's not enough information about it yet.
Well, and one of the scary things I was reading about is that they were finding that even people who had been completely asymptomatic were being admitted to the hospital for heart problems because it was causing scarring on the heart muscles.
Yeah, I think it was it Jenny Morgan, I think, on Twitter, told me that, or I don't know, maybe it was in a group chat, but she mentioned that strokes for people in their 30s and 40s who had COVID were going up.
I hadn't heard about that, but yeah, I can imagine it's the same thing if it's, anything interfering with the blood flow.
Yeah, there are some things in my life that I don't want to ever experience, and a stroke is one.
Well, it's funny you should say that. I had a full-blown stroke in 2019 in Brooklyn, New York. I was working there. They got me home just before COVID, and I've had rehab ever since. My mouth, through speech therapy, I can talk, but I'm still blind in one eye, deaf in one ear. I can walk now, but it's mainly on muscle memory. It's sort of swinging my leg with a cane. But yeah, one side, a stroke is a stroke. You lose breathing and everything. It's a terrible thing.
A stroke is what killed my fiance.
Yeah,
we were just sitting there watching TV, and she said, "I can't see." And 10 minutes later, she was laying on the floor, and she was dead by the time the paramedics arrived.
Yeah, mine was via subarachnoid bleed brought on by stress. But I've been assured I will make a 99, maybe a full recovery. But that's years away yet. At the moment, half my body is still numb, and my ding dong still doesn't work. So the missus isn't happy about that. But well, at least I'm not dead. Well, fortunately, I was in a busy office when it happened to me, so I got treated well in America, and they got me home just before the pandemic kicked off, and I've been treated in the UK since. But yes, a stroke, Bubs, is not a pretty thing to have. It's not a good thing. But it's amazing what they can do out there. I don't know if you remember. We call it phonics over here when they teach kids how to read using phonics. It's basically phonetical, Greek phonetical, not military phonetical. So it's it's pronouncing your alphabet: a, b, k, d, e, f, j. That's phonics, we call it.
Yep. And they have some phonics things here too.
Yeah, sounding out the letters, and basically that was part of my speech rehab. Was phonics. It was fun to do, actually. But yeah, it got me talking again, even though feels like more than half a mile. I slobber a lot. So if I'm talking, I drool. But yeah, it's just weird. Crap happens. And I can't imagine if I got this COVID. I'm petrified of it, to be fair. And I don't advocate it enough that just wear a mask, reduce it. I'm not saying a mask is 100% effective, but it's at least 90% effective. And Fauci's right. Wear 2 if you can. Wear 10. As long as you can breathe, as long as you take a breath, then you're breathing.
Okay, so does doubling the mask really make a significant difference?
Well, I would have thought it would have been a big difference, because obviously it's passed on water vapor or water droplets.
Well, I just know, from building dust collectors, that a lot of times it's like, if you have one filter, that can catch 90% of it. Adding a second filter only brings it up to maybe 92%. It's not a big difference.
Well, it's 2%. It's still a difference.
Yeah.
So the more masks you wear, I would have thought.
Yeah, I think it was the CDC that came out with a study for that. I've been drinking, so I'm not gonna look too hard right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, like the numbers for the possibility of transmission with just one mask drops considerably. When you wear two masks, that adds like 10 or 15% potential to not transmit. And even wearing a third mask is another 5 to 10% to not transmit COVID. And I mean, fucking jump on that shit.
Well, I look at like a wire mesh. I think you call them chain link fences over there. If you put a chain link fence and that can fit a golf ball through the holes, if you put another chain link fence there and offset it to the first one, you're not going to get a golf ball through the holes. I look at it. I know it's just basic, but it's simple logic, isn't it?
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned. As long as you can still breathe. But again, you get these people saying, "Oh, I can't wear a mask. I'm going to get CO2 poisoned." You know,
I want to punch those people in the throat. I really do. Give them actual fucking oxygen deprivation. Just punch them in the throat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, the only
real problem I have with a mask is that it tends to steam up my glasses.
Well, that's it. And people obviously, there are people who can't wear a mask because of psychological reasons. You know,
I can understand people with like more extreme ADHD or people with autism.
Yeah, agoraphobics, they suffer.
That's what I was going to say, that especially kids with autism, it could be problematic. Just because anything in contact with the skin can be a problem.
And I get those. But like someone like me who's with exception of a little bit of social anxiety, no. the idea that you can't wear a mask, it makes me nervous. No, bullshit.
Well,
I've got social anxiety and I still wear a mask. Now, if you have autism or agoraphobia, sure, I can grant a pass.
Well, I have autism and the social anxiety, and actually it's one of the reasons I like the mask, because I can't really read people's facial expressions anyway, so without with the mask, they can't read mine either, and we're on a more level playing field.
Well, that's right. Pull faces. But the only illness you're going to get with wearing a mask is a staph infection.
Yeah, as long as you wash them regularly.
Wash them or change them regularly, you'll be all right.
Yeah, and I put my mask under like boiling hot water with a fair amount of regularity.
Yep.
Just wash the shit. Oh, but COVID can survive for 2. Wash it.
Yeah, we've got a redneck washer for, doing small stuff like that. So basically I can stick it in there in water that I couldn't put my hand in. Redneck washing machine is basically a plunger in a bucket to agitate stuff.
Exactly.
Apparently Unicorn Cat has something to say.
No, I'm just lonely and I want to be part of the live stream now.
Okay, so let me figure out.
Well, you're always welcome to come into my live streams anytime.
What's up? This is annoying me. I just fell like 6 times trying to get this on, so.
Are you been drinking as well then?
No, she just has difficulty putting clothes on, I think. Sorry.
No, you're good. I know you don't do it on purpose, but yeah, no. I got lightheaded because I got up too fast, which is like really fucking normal for me.
Super duper smart.
Yeah, and I just fell a bunch and it got me out of breath. So there was a reason. There was something I wanted to say though.
I think I said something about autism and masks.
Oh yeah, there are days that my autism. I know. I think Purple said it gives them comfort. I sometimes cannot like mentally wear masks, but you want to know what I fucking do? I don't go out in public. I stay in the car and let him go in.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, stay at home.
Well, and like Tria's saying in the side chat, that most places will offer workarounds like curbside service for those who can't wear a
Yeah.
mask. And especially the ones who make these videos, complaining about discrimination and my rights. The Disability Act says that they have to make reasonable accommodations. So if they're willing to bring it out to your car, they've made reasonable accommodations. You don't need to go into the store.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Kroger will bring groceries out if you do online ordering. It's fucking awesome.
Well, that's the way our public library's been handling it. You order everything online and they bring it out to your car.
Well, as Will said in the chat, Will got the show, and his son has autism, and he still wears a mask. He doesn't think there's an excuse, and I agree.
Well,
Yeah.
autism is such a wide spectrum thing that most people with autism can still wear them. There will be a few who it will be an issue.
But there is an anxiety there for people that. But as Unicorn said, stay in the fucking house. Don't go out. There's plenty of people there to help, who will help. There's delivery services. There's contingencies for these people who cannot wear a mask. It's the people
if
who
you
refuse
actually
to wear.
have a respiratory problem that's serious enough that a mask is interfering with it, you probably shouldn't be going out in public anyway.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because you're probably in that category of people that a normal flu could be debilitating to you.
But as we know, washing your hands, wearing a mask, social distancing is probably the reason why the mortality on this planet isn't 10 million.
Yeah. Well,
because a lot of people have abided by it. It's only a minority that COVIDiots, of course.
Yeah, again, you can compare different countries and even different states within the U.S. about how the mask compliance has been and what the fatality rates have been.
Well, I think it's been devastating worldwide, even if one died of this. But we know it's.
Well, yeah, we've lost
2
over
million.
500,000 people.
Yeah.
Well, every Office of National Statistics, they're telling people to double the death toll. What's reported for a more realistic figure, and the infected, you can times that by 5. Because I would say over half the world has been infected by this illness.
Yeah.
But obviously, you'll still get them few that will say, "Oh well, no, not me. I don't know anyone." Well, probably because you live in the middle of nowhere and with 5 houses around you. Of course, you don't know anyone. My village is in the middle of nowhere, but unfortunately, we've had 2 cases, and they stayed in, they abided, and it never went any further than that. So we've been quite lucky, but obviously, as I say, I've lost family. I'm friends to this illness, and it sucks. And when you can't go to your own parents' funeral,
I mean,
Yeah, I would love to. Sorry.
it's not good. It's we have to watch it over the internet, and it's not the same really.
yeah.
But it didn't mourn as much. I must admit, it wasn't as daunting and as sad as it should have been. But it would have been nice to have been there.
Yeah, to be able to give each other hugs to comfort and so forth. Yes.
Yeah, we had a nice chat. We had a drink over the internet. Well, I didn't, but I'm not drinking at the moment.
Oh, Beach says the nursing home in their town had 70% residents infected.
Jesus fuck.
70%.
70% of residents in a nursing home. That's
My uncle's in a long-term care home, and he did around with COVID, but he managed to recover from it. I don't know what percentage of the residents there wound up getting it, though.
You've got to bear in mind as well that this disease has killed everyone of all ages and health.
I think the youngest person to die that I have heard of is 13. I'm sure there's younger, but the youngest I heard was like 13. And people say that only old people are dying, so it's fine.
Well,
Well,
only old people were
Fuck
dying.
grandma. Fuck grandma. Fuck grandma. Fuck grandma. Fuck grandma.
Basically, only old people were dying until they pushed to reopen the schools. After
Yeah,
the schools
and
opened, then we've
suddenly-
got a surge of teenagers dying from it.
Yeah, you've got doctors, nurses, all ages and health issues that
Yeah.
are dying from it.
But
And
it's like the kids weren't dying from it because we kept the kids at home and they weren't intermingling with other people very much. That's the
Well,
only reason it wasn't hitting the kids.
Yeah, I mean, there are two groups of people that have really shitty immune systems. You've got the very old and the very young. The very old have immune systems that are failing anyway, and the very young who haven't built up immune systems yet.
And immunocompromised people. There's
Okay,
that
well,
group
you're a
too.
weird middle ground.
I'll fucking beat
You
you.
see what I deal with?
Well, no,
He abuses me off camera.
Sloth Girl has MS and the medication for it leaves her immunocompromised too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
And that's like, it's not the disease
typical
doing it, but it's the only thing that keeps the disease in check, does it?
I had someone tell me the other day that I should just choose not to be immunocompromised.
I hadn't heard that.
What?
Yeah,
You didn't tell
someone
me.
commented on my video and they said, well, you should just choose not to be immunocompromised. And
Well,
I'm
that's
like,
it. That's it.
oh, that,
Yeah, people of the world. I am speaking to you from
God, you're tipsy.
my lowly 558 subscribers. Just choose to not be immunocompromised. That's the solution.
That was really insensitive too, because like some people are born immunocompromised, some people got sick with certain diseases and are immunocompromised. I'm immunocompromised because I was neglected and abused for years.
Yeah.
And I even said that in the video. I had said in the video that neglect leads to long-term issues like that. That's what the video is about, and they fucking said that. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry that I got abused my entire life.
If only you knew that you could choose to
To not be, right?
Yeah, your life would be so much better.
well, this is it. Being immunocompromised is a choice.
Yeah, it is.
Like autism, there's
Up
that
there with
group of
being gay.
people.
Yeah.
There's that group of people, the same ones who said they could teach you not to be gay.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing the same with autistic people now, aren't they?
I had
Training them
someone-
not to be autistic.
Sorry, I suck at interrupting people. I'm sorry.
Go
I
on.
had someone to message me. I had an angry parent message me on Instagram saying that they didn't appreciate their child following me because they might become autistic.
Wait a minute, you can catch it through the internet now?
Yeah.
You don't even need in-person contact. Okay, I didn't know
Yeah.
that it had mutated to that point.
Yeah. I didn't even know it mutated to in-person contact, to be fair.
Oh
Well,
yeah,
Well,
definitely
I'd heard that one before, that they didn't want
Yeah.
the kids playing with a kid that was autistic.
will become autistic. That's how it works.
Yep.
And they don't want to get... Well, we're talking anti-vaxxers now, aren't we?
Yeah, probably all the
Probably
same.
about there.
We don't want you to play because we don't want to get an autism vaccine. Because
But at the same time, they want their kids to be on the playground with kids that have who knows what that actually could be contagious.
Yeah, no, okay, so she's not my friend anymore because she's a bitch who randomly ghosted me for no reason, which is always fun. So I get to talk shit about her now and talk about all the things I didn't like about her. And one of the things she said, her nephew is autistic. He's nonverbal. Obviously, I am not, but he's nonverbal. And I had asked her once, what do you do when your nephew is ticking? Because I had a really bad day with that.
Can I do the Mortal Kombat thing?
Oh my gosh, sure.
Vaccine injury.
Yeah, she referred to it as vaccine injured, and that's why her nephew is autistic, because he was vaccine injured, because he didn't show any symptoms of autism until they doubled up on his vaccines, and now he's autistic.
Well, my response to that is always, would you rather your kid be autistic or dead?
Yeah,
Autism. I hate children. Autism.
my response was, I didn't get vaccinated as a kid because my mother's an anti-vaxxer, and I'm fucking autistic.
Well, that's because
Like, actually. For real, though.
Yeah, I didn't get vaccinated until my senior year. The school forced my mother to, and because they realized that I hadn't gotten vaccinated.
One thing I have been finding very encouraging is the colleges have been reporting that there's a lot of kids who didn't get vaccinated as a kid, but once they got into college, they've been doing it themselves without their parents knowing about it.
Yeah, I wish I was able to get vaccinated, but since I'm also immunocompromised, I can't really take any vaccine. The doctor told me that and I have all these fucking diseases that make me, if I get an illness, I swear my kidneys are gonna fail and I'm gonna die. That's what's gonna fucking happen. And I can't get vaccinated.
Hi, how's it going?
Hey, Will.
Hey, Will.
How are
How's
you?
it going?
How are you, mate?
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm good. Talking about being immunocompromised. I'm born asthmatic, so if anyone even comes near me or coughs, I get sick instantly. So I've been hiding for a year. And the thing with autism, my son has autism, and he bitched about it at first, but he wears a mask.
Yeah. See, the only time my autism keeps me from wearing a mask is if I'm having like a really bad day. Because obviously some days are worse than others. If I'm having a really bad day, which is rare, I can't. Like, it'll freak me out, and I'll just.
I have anxiety, and sometimes like I just opt out to not go.
Yeah.
I call it doing the world a favor.
The question is, Will.
Going for me.
The question is, Will, does your son have a contagious autism?
Were you there? Were you there for that part? Were you in the chat for that part?
Yeah, I heard that part. Stupidity is contagious, apparently, but not autism.
Well,
people. There was one time my son was having a long time ago, and this woman in a line, she looks at me and she's like, "Oh, they make them cute, so we don't throw them in a river." And I'm like, "You probably don't have."
Is this ancient Sparta?
This was like 5 or 6 years ago in a Halloween store. Oh my gosh. People are nuts, We have unreal expectations on each other.
Oh.
Well, when they're putting in every MMR vaccine, they're putting in 5 buckets of mercury, formaldehyde, bleach, rat poison.
Andrew Wakefield is a criminal.
One day.
So Andrew
Sorry. We were in the. I suck at interrupting people. Just yell at me if I interrupt you.
I'm the same way. It's okay.
I also have ADHD, so just expect it. But
stop interrupting people.
We were in the car one day, and this was the first time like it clicked in my head that my mother was anti-vax, because I thought it was normal growing up without vaccines. And it clicked in my head when she said this. She said, "You know that they put rat poison in vaccines, and that's why I don't vaccinate you, because it'll kill you." I'm like,
in the UK, there was a guy named Andrew Wakefield that started that, and it spread like wildfire. I personally think he should be in prison.
Yeah, he should, because it's keeping people vaccinated and it's killing people. I have long-term health issues
from
now.
being vaccinated.
Wakefield, after they reviewed his study, they revoked his license to practice.
Yeah, that's good.
Because there's people like Jenny McCarthy, Madonna. I don't know if it's Madonna. I don't want to say wrong names, but they're like pushing these false narratives. Measles is rising. All these pirate diseases that we cured are coming back,
Yeah. Including fucking polio, by the way.
Coming back.
Insane. because
Yeah.
people don't want to take a shot.
Yeah, diseases that we haven't really had to think about for 50 years because there were effective vaccines.
Yeah.
So it's
Like,
amazing
all
how
you have
fast.
to do is go to a cemetery and find the graves of little tiny babies that were
We're
buried
morbid.
in fire engine red coffins because that's what little children like.
What are we talking about? I zoned out for a second.
Well-
You find, like, from the 50s and the years before, the number of children that were buried because vaccines didn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
The numbers are huge. But after that, when vaccines did exist, oh my fuck, the numbers have plummeted. There are no fire engine red coffins here.
Exactly. Even if you look at the numbers of births after penicillin, all of a sudden after World War One, our population skyrocketed because people weren't dying from a cold anymore.
Boom, right there.
You know, I'm
Yeah.
allergic. This is random, but you said penicillin at my ADHD fucking mind. I'm deathly allergic to penicillin, and whenever I told the doctor that last time I went to the ER because my kidneys are infected and they're like this close to failing, he said, "We'll just give you some penicillin and you'll be fine." And I'm like,
Wow.
Yeah, that was like a week ago.
I'm fucked if that's what's gonna save me.
Yeah,
Right.
he should have been checking your medical record first.
No, I even had a fucking wristband saying that I'm allergic to shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just a doctor should have read your medical record and been aware of that.
Yeah, no, he's stupid. He was gonna send me home because I was just on my period. The nurses wasn't having it because I had like several nurses in there with me because they didn't know what the fuck was wrong with me and they were getting kind of concerned. And all the nurses were female. He said that with a bunch of women in the room.
No, one of the nurses was male. That was the clown. Remember? Because we looked at your.
Oh yeah,
prescribing
no,
doctor,
it wasn't
yeah.
a doctor, it was a nurse, but I thought he was the doctor. I forgot. But still, he said that with a group full of women, that it was just my period.
Yikes.
Yeah. Unicorn Cat felt the eye roll from the female nurse.
Yeah, I didn't have to look at them. And then whenever he was there, whenever the main nurse that was mostly doing most of the work walked in and to discharge me, and she looked at him when she said what I was diagnosed with. She said she said they have vaginitis, extreme vaginitis too, an extreme UTI that triggered kidney infection. And she was looking him in the fucking eyes when she said that.
Yeah.
She was not having it, but I got a kick out of that because that was this.
That's probably why he was in the room, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I really don't get the whole thing. Like, people who have the traditional female bits, like Unicorn Cat does, it just get dismissed out of hand.
It's your period. You're being hormonal. You're over exaggerating. I wasn't even on my period when he said that too, to be honest.
I think that's insane when that happens anywhere, even at the hospital or even like
it leads
tire
to
shop
so many
anywhere.
deaths.
Yeah, I mean, what the fuck is gonna happen next? Oh, you're just hysterical.
Yeah, might as well. Might as well give me a fucking lobotomy so I stop being hysterical.
Mm-hmm.
Well, doctors are human beings and they're also fallible. I mean, look at the demon sperm doctor. Remember her?
Yeah, and unfortunately in medical school, they really don't give them much as far as on the female anatomy or, how female bodies are different.
Which is fucked because they learn a bit more about the male body than the female body.
I get told too, though, by
that's the message.
Penises suck, okay? Vaginas are where it's at.
If it makes you feel any better, I have doctors who tell me I'm a born asthmatic. I've had the same condition my whole life, and there was a time a doctor told me, "Oh no, you don't have this. You have this," and I'm like, "No, I don't." You're just trying to sell me some new medication,
I've had people do that with my mental health because My current doctor, my current psychosis, what the fuck? My current psychiatrist is fucking stupid. It's rare for children to be diagnosed with schizophrenia. I was diagnosed at a really young age. I've lived with it my entire life, and he took it off my charts. And I'm like, I still hallucinate in your voices. And he just doesn't believe me when I say that.
Can confirm, by the
Yeah,
way.
Yeah.
Both.
Yeah, him and his family hear me talking to myself all the time, and I won't know that I'm talking to myself until someone points it out. But I'm not schizophrenic because one doctor that's known me for a couple months.
Male doctor.
Male doctor.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it's one of the problems with the U.S. healthcare system that you basically have to go to the doctor that your insurance tells you to.
Yeah.
And if they wind up being a fuck up, you really don't have a choice to go to a different doctor most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Even when, like my mom has really good insurance. She has like top tier Kaiser. She hated her doctor, and they wouldn't let her switch her doctor.
Yeah, I'm having difficulties. I've been
shocked.
out despite all of my health issues, and trust me, it is a pile on. I'm always sick, and I have chronic pain, like I can't digest food, for example. That's an issue, right? And I can't see a fucking family physician because of my insurance.
Yeah.
There's one place nearby that I have my insurance would cover.
Well, when I moved to Michigan, there was only one mental health center in the entire county. And I argued with them for 2 years, and they would not give me a prescription. All I was asking them for was look at my records from my previous clinic and give me the same medication I've been on for the last 3 years. And they wouldn't do it.
It's stupid.
Because no one at that clinic would read the records from my previous clinic.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of legislation here. I've seen people, I've seen pharmacists tell people, oh, well, the insurance company told me I can only give you 45 pills instead of 60, you know? I've just heard the most awful things at the pharmacy.
Oh, I had someone refuse to give me my meds once. Like, all of them. They just... I take a handful of pills several times a day because I might be 18, but I'm living like I'm 80. And she just refused because she said, I think your doctor's wrong. She tried telling me that I was over-medicated, and I had to stand there and list off everything I've been diagnosed with for her to fucking believe me. And I'm like, even if I am over-medicated, you're not my fucking doctor.
Yeah, that's not your place. If the doctor wrote the script, they're supposed to fill them.
Yeah, I don't understand that either.
I think I went like 2 months without medicine because of her. Because I had to like fight it.
Wow.
I had to actually get my list, like my copy of my charts, or I don't know how to word it, but you get what I'm saying, from my doctors, from all of my doctors, in order to get my fucking meds. Because they just refused to give it to me.
Wow.
That's great.
I would have called the cops. I wouldn't have known what to do if somebody
I didn't know what to do
gave me
other
half
than
my medication. You know?
Yeah, it's fucking stupid.
I definitely would have called the corporate for whatever pharmacy that was too.
I did report her, but I was focused on getting my meds. I didn't think, probably report her, right? It went over my head that was an option. I just wanted to get my fucking meds.
Well, yeah. Yeah, you need to deal with your immediate situation first.
Yeah.
You can't wait for something that's going to take months for results.
Yeah.
Well, that's a problem we have in the UK. Even though the medical service is good, we have to deal with waiting lists and appointments. It could be months before you get seen. It's a weird thing. It's like me. I'm actually prescribed diapers, as you call them, but I have to wear them when I go out because I've got no feeling. So I don't know whether I'm going or not. So just in case, I wear a diaper because I can't feel my pelvic floor at the moment. It's weird, but we get all that for free. We don't even have to pay for it. It's what I don't get about the American system. It seems to be more geared on money. Well, I mean, we do have to pay. We pay for it through taxes, or we pay a certain amount of tax that goes towards the National Health Service. But America, it seems to be more business-like. It's all about the money.
Oh, sorry, dog.
The more you pay, the better the service you'll get. Which is, I think that denies a lot of basic health, because the doctors will basically go to. You don't have basic health doctors, do you? You just have doctors, and they'll go to where the money is. So I think the little person's missing out a lot there, which I don't get. I think that's sad.
Yeah, even with the subsidized insurance, it's basically half of what someone would get if they paid.
Yeah,
it's really sad here. People die all the time from rationing medication. It's a thing. What was that? What did you say? There's always a stat that you say. It's the biggest thing. The biggest GoFundMe's are for medical reasons.
Yeah.
80% of the campaigns on GoFundMe are to cover medical expenses.
That's insane.
Yeah, which GoFundMe has recently come out and said that they hate the government for.
Yeah.
Yep.
So some of the medicine that I take every single time I eat, because as I mentioned, I can't digest food properly. And obviously I need to fucking digest food. I need to eat. And if I was, before I had insurance, because my mother decided to not tell me that we had insurance, so I couldn't afford medicine. So this medicine's like 1 month of it is close to $400. And I was paying out of pocket for that shit. So if I couldn't afford it, I didn't eat. So
yeah.
America.
Fuck yeah.
Well, there is a saying worldwide called American greed, where everything in America is just a business. Well, even religion is. If you're watching TV and you physically have to buy a prayer, that's a business as far as I'm concerned.
Well, and that's why healthcare costs are way out of control, because people will literally pay anything to stay alive.
Which we shouldn't have to. As far as I'm concerned, if you need something to live, your ass shouldn't have to pay for it. End of story. There's no debating me on that either. If you need it to live, no one chose to live. I didn't choose for my mother to get knocked up. Okay.
That's so true.
I shouldn't have to pay to live.
Yeah, I think it's the basic responsibility that nobody should die of something that can be easily prevented.
Yeah, but America.
Recently, Jen from Jen's Little Corner, her brother was extremely ill, and he has to get ongoing procedures and everything, and it's all covered in Australia. Here in America, you'd be looking at millions and millions of dollars in care that you would have to pay.
Well, and the fact that tourist healthcare is a thing, that because of the American system, there are countries that make most of their tourist income off of America's going there for health reasons, for surgeries and things they can't afford here. Because it's cheaper to fly to another country and stay for a week than it is to stay in an American hospital.
It makes sense, though. I didn't know that, but it makes sense. I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I remember the federal government making it illegal for Americans to go to Canada for pharmaceuticals, like their prescriptions.
Yeah.
They make the healthcare system better.
Yeah, the federal government.
Well, and that's the part that pisses me off the most is the same medication by the same company, even manufactured in the same factory, can sell for 10 times as much in the U.S. as they can when they're shipped to Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Or Mexico. I lived in Mexico, and the funny thing is, I needed inhalers. I was scared. I get to Mexico, they're in every pharmacy. They were $5 at the border.
They're so inexpensive too.
And the deeper you go into Mexico, they're like $3, $2. One guy gave me an inhaler.
Because that's how it should be.
In America,
you've got a fuckload of these. Just
It was actually really cool because in America that same inhaler costs $95 to
Yeah.
$100 without insurance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I haven't used an inhaler. I got COVID and I have scarring on my lungs now, so I need an inhaler regularly. But growing up, that's part of the reason my mother never got me inhalers and stuff after a while, because she's couldn't. Or she, let's be honest, she could. My mother's a druggie. She had the money for it, and she just didn't want to spend it on that.
Yeah. Like as an American, I'm more thoughtless about my healthcare because I know I have Veterans Affairs to fall back on.
Yeah.
Like they cover my medical bills. It's like, oh well, I feel kind of shitty. I'm gonna go see a doctor. Okay, I'm not paying shit because VA, and like still compared to people anywhere else in the world, I'm hesitant to see a doctor.
Yeah, because someone still has to pay it, and it might not be you, but
it's still someone pays it in the other countries. But I mean, it's taxes and it's 10 times cheaper.
Yeah.
We have a saying. There's a saying in Spanish. I'm gonna try to translate it, but it's like, it's kind of like you're acting like you have health insurance. So it's a saying of like, man, you must have really good health insurance because you're acting like an idiot,
Yeah.
It's so sad that here in America, people are like, wow, you must have health insurance because you're reckless. Like you're, that's sad because most people should just be covered.
Well, I mean, there are people that actually go around America and like, there was some British reality TV show that covered this, like, guess how much it costs to call an ambulance in America kind of thing on TV.
Jesus.
Which is a thing. Yeah.
It's
$5,000. $5,000 to call a EMT, by the way, in America. But
and insurance rarely covers it too.
Yeah.
My fiance was considering declaring bankruptcy before she died because of the medical bills that we owed $24,000 just to the ambulance company.
That's unreal.
Yeah.
That's illegal. Like, you're literally making absurd amounts of money that you don't need. I understand paramedics need to be paid. I understand there's medical equipment, but you are so overcharged to the point where I would rather die than someone call a fucking ambulance.
Americans are so overcharged to buy ambulance companies that there are bracelets that people wear that say, do not call an ambulance because I can't.
I have
in
one.
America.
I have one.
Case in point.
No, the last person I was living with, she got me one because my health issues are that bad. She got me one and it had her phone number on it. So like, call her and she will come and fucking get me if she needs be, if need be, to take me to a hospital.
In America, though, we are totally price gouged in this country.
Yeah,
and it depends on where you live too.
It's illegal, so
even I'll give you a perfect example. I go shopping every week. I take my son. We have fun. It's an ordeal, but it's fun. It's usually around like $150, $170. It'll last me a while. We get a ton of groceries. Last week the prices went up so much, and my son has autism. We literally eat the same thing, so I'm getting the same stuff. Didn't deviate from the list. It went up like $90 because that's how much we're price gouged, because they know in the pandemic, like, I'm kind of stuck. I can't drive to Nevada to go get food or So all the stores are just, the prices are going up. It's ridiculous.
I haven't noticed prices going up, but I do the same thing. I go by the same exact list. And I recently found out it's because I'm autistic. When I found out it was because I'm autistic, I'm like, that's why.
Well, let me make it real for way too many people out there because they can't have sympathy or empathy.
That doesn't exist. Who's
fucking that? In Texas, with the recent snowstorm, I have read stories in fucking reputable news sources that hotels that still had power from generators or
Their
whatever
prices, they're hiking their
Were-
prices.
$2,000 a night.
That's
Yikes.
illegal.
For a seedy, you will get an STD from staying here motel.
Yeah. It's so fucking illegal, like, but no one's gonna do anything about it.
Can I ask a question?
Dying.
Oh no, you need gas for generators though.
Yeah. You know,
Some people
someone
have generators and stuff.
Sorry.
In Texas, where because I always pictured Texas as a prepper state where everybody's ready for anything, you know.
Yeah. You
Not
think?
snow though, because no, I remember when I went down to Texas, I can't remember what exact part I was in Texas. I'm sure knowing that would, where
Yep.
you are changes. It was in winter, and I don't even remember seeing any winter coats in stores and stuff because they don't snow in the area that I was in. So why would they? So imagine now those areas, not a single person is gonna have a winter fucking coat,
Wow.
and all of a sudden there's this fucking storm. They
Well,
don't even sell it in most of Texas.
2018, 2019, all these preppers were going wild about all sorts of things. And one of the things they kept talking about was being prepared for a pandemic, that they had their bunkers. They were going to go seal themselves up and wait for it to pass. So why aren't these idiots all hiding out underground so we don't have to deal with them?
Exactly. I like that purpose. So true. When in 1999, I had a neighbor who moved to Montana because they were scared of Y2K.
Scared of what?
They were scared. Y2K. This was, 21 years ago.
Yeah, is that why I don't know what the fuck it is? I'm 18.
The Millennium Bug, it was called, Unicorn. It was like all the computers at the time were Windows 98, and they said when it went to 2000.
Okay, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
That all the computers in the world would stop working, and people would die. All the companies were run by computers. They would all stop. Water companies, food, everything.
Yeah, airplanes
End of
were gonna
humanity.
fall out of the sky at the stroke of midnight.
My brother was the one who told me about that. See, I was born in 2002, so clearly
Okay.
like I wasn't alive then.
You're just a baby.
He told me about that when I was like 10. And I thought he was like fucking with me. I didn't know people actually. I didn't believe him that people actually thought that.
And of course, we all know the worst thing to actually come out of Y2K, which is some dude in some southern state had a video rental that cost $2,000 because of movies.
Yeah, it was all nonsense.
Well, Pennsylvania had a problem with the 2000 year model cars
To do the jump.
because their computer, when it put 00 for the year,
So,
listed them as
like,
a horseless carriage.
from having a
No, that's funny. People, I knew grown people that were scared of 2012, and I would ask them, "Are you Mayan? Can you read a Mayan calendar? Do you believe in the Mayan religion?"
Yeah.
Like,
Okay, no.
Yeah.
See, this we need to worry about. The Mayan stone carver was dyslexic. It was supposed to read 2021.
I heard someone tell me that, and I was like, "What?" Like I'd actually look into it. I'm
well,
like, "Is that
the
a
one
thing?"
cool thing,
Joke,
Well,
but,
yeah.
like the 2012 thing, like that didn't include daylight savings, so it should have happened like 100 years ago.
Well, isn't the resurrection the original conspiracy theory?
true. The one cool thing about 2012, though, is that the Mayans were right, and the planets are still kind of aligned, and they're drifting away from each other now. So that's the only their prediction came true. It's just the world didn't end; the planets aligned. That was it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
And that's actually all the Mayan calendar said. It did not say the world was going to end. It just said it was the end of the calendar cycle.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, just
I
like,
have a telescope. I'm always out there. It's
Yeah,
beautiful
yeah.
because you can see the planets align. Like it's
Yeah.
awesome.
So
Awesome
that-
time to be alive.
The Mayans had just assumed that by the time that happened, somebody would have carved a new calendar and they just moved to the next one.
here's
Instead of
something
freaked
big
out.
thing. This was an actual end times prophecy. at the Vatican, there is
You know it's good if you start with that.
Vault full of Nazi gold.
at the Vatican that there is the Nazi gold. Also, there is a building that has portraits of the different popes. And there's a conspiracy theory that as soon as that building was filled, and this was with John Paul II, by the way, so 2 popes ago.
I met him. He was actually a nice guy. I didn't understand a word he said.
But as soon as this building was, the world was going to end.
Okay.
That was an actual end times prophecy that people believed in.
Well, the popes of the past, Catholicism I was born and raised Catholic. My father was a Eucharist minister. I think it's the most dishonest of all the religions, Catholicism. It's not very good. Even I think Pope Boniface VIII in Dante's ironic comedy Inferno, Pope Boniface VIII was so evil that he had his own level of hell in that book.
Yikes.
It's fact.
So.
There was another pope. I can't remember. I'll have to look him up. Who started a tradition called whore jousting.
What?
This is fact. They used to get naked women. Then they throw fruit and food on the floor where they'd have to bend over, and then the men would see how many they could poke. Basically,
Wow.
That actually is true.
It was called whore jousting. The Catholic Church, and you got Pius XI. He was the wartime pope, World War II time pope, who was just in. But he advised what's the face? Who's the Italian?
Mussolini.
Mussolini, to side with Hitler. They took in Hitler's Nazi gold, which I believe is still in the vault. That could be found in the Bigelow report.
That's well documented.
As well as billions of Swiss francs, which was seized. They advised Russia to annex Sweden. Was it Sweden or Switzerland? Sweden, I think.
It would have been Sweden, yeah, because Switzerland is too separate.
But that's when Hitler, and this was all to do with the Pope, because the Catholic Church, they embrace war and poverty and disease and illness, so they can get out there and throw their dogma about.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, the real irony is that, like, from policy standpoint, the Catholic Church can't support going to war.
Uh-huh.
Because the Catholic Church is anti-war.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Catholic Church is a sovereign nation, so it is basically its own country.
Yeah.
It's the only country that's in the red, that's in the green. It has no world debt whatsoever.
Yeah.
Because it's
the only country on the planet. Oh, the wealth is incredible what they have.
Because they tax every other country.
They spend a lot of money on shipping paedophiles around the world, of course.
Okay, I'd have to check that if they're the only country. Just because I know that to date, Finland is the only country that has paid back the U.S. for their World War II debt.
Wow.
Yeah, the UK.
I wouldn't pay us back.
The UK is still quite a ways off of paying their World War II debt.
Yeah.
You know, like 80 years later. 90 years.
That was part of the deal, basically, that it was like, well, they bankrupted themselves, I think, within the first 2 years in the war or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, and we gave them really good exchange rates. It was like, okay, we'll give you 300 destroyers for 6 months if you let us use one aircraft carrier for 6 months.
Yeah,
That was the Lend-Lease deal.
Yeah. The Lend-Lease Act is actually a big reason why the Nazis weren't beaten. And I actually love FDR's summation of it. I really do. It's fantastic. If your neighbor's house is on fire, you don't haggle over the price of the hose.
Yeah.
Right.
I love that. I love it. It's fantastic.
Well, not to
Okay.
mention the fact that the U.S. corporations made a ton of money by supplying everyone else.
Yeah.
Well, that's right. America was supplies. They didn't want to come into the war, did they? Till Japan
Well,
bombed
we
Hawaii.
come into the
Yeah.
war because we didn't have the infrastructure to be that militarized state yet.
And now, when you come to war, you bring everything with you: cinemas, burger shops, shopping malls. You bring everything with you now. They're all on them boats.
I'm always looking up the numbers of the Pacific Fleet because we have an unreal amount of ships just on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Just on the West Coast, there's
Well,
over
I mean,
3,000.
just in case those Japanese decide to get uppity.
Like a month or two ago, I looked it up on a live stream, and you could see my reaction. I thought they were going to say a couple. No, it was like 3,700 that they were willing to admit. And they flat out said, these are what we're admitting is in the Pacific Ocean. And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
They're not messing around.
And warmongering Japanese. Always up to no good. Plotting and planning.
In the 80s. Reagan.
I do not.
Well, it was
Oh,
after the Washington Treaty of 1902 or something, that the U.S. has since then always had the world's largest navy.
Japan is one of the greatest and funnest countries to visit. It is brilliant there. It is literally just laugh a minute fun wherever you go. And they're lovely people as well. They really are. They're just amazing people. You think they don't care, but they do. And everything is so clean. You could eat your dinner off the pavement there.
Oh, that's awesome.
It is like when I was in New York, especially parts of Brooklyn where my company has an apartment there. All you smell is urine.
Oh, LA is trash city.
See,
LA is trash city.
I remember this is like a year and a half or 2 years ago. I don't know how many of you know this particular old school atheist YouTuber, but I was gonna do an interview of Lee Lemon, if anybody remembers her. On my
I know her.
And
Sounds familiar.
I sent her a Google Hangout link like 2 hours before just to be sure she had it. And she's walking home from her job and she's like, yeah, I'm connected to Wi-Fi. And I'm like, where the fuck are you connected to Wi-Fi? You're out walking in your city. And she's like, oh, there's just Wi-Fi here. Like, what? There's just Wi-Fi?
You know, Berkeley is like that, humble. I'm amazed that because there's certain cities that just have free Wi-Fi. I couldn't imagine.
It fucking blew my mind. And she's like, no, this is how it is in urban areas of Korea. It's just how it is.
That's
I'm
awesome.
like, holy fuck. Your life is how do I move to Korea?
Well, here in the UK, my local market towns and city is free Wi-Fi. So
that's awesome.
I think the whole world is going free Wi-Fi anyway. I mean, it's free, it's cheap. It's the actual hardware now that's costing them money. That's where they're getting the money from, is the hardware itself. I mean, £1,000 for an iPhone. I don't know how much you pay for them over there.
It's like 7 to 8. Yeah, it's around that price.
Yeah. You may as well round up. It's not that much of a rounding.
Well, that's about $1,800 or dollars, £1,000. $1,700. That's a lot of money.
It is. It's unreal. That's why I refuse to get my son one. It's one of those things. When he's
I
older,
refuse to be
me.
tied to the iOS bullshit anyway. Their operating system is a joke.
So right now I'm running off of a what is it? It's like it's a Chromebook, okay?
Oh, I have that. It's bullshit. It's a glorified laptop. It's a glorified tablet.
When I turned this thing on, my Mac desktop instantly signed in. It instantly took over this computer. I have no idea what I'm doing. It mirrored my computer. It instantly, like Mac, iOS, they own you. I have an iPhone. I have a desktop. Their technology is not compatible with anything. You have to go to the iStore to buy. I need a cable for a monitor. The guy at Walmart kind of laughed at me, and he's like, "You have Apple products?" I said, "Yeah." He's like, "What are you doing here? Stop being cheap. Stop being cheap and go to the Apple store." And I was like, "Fuck."
Well, forget your oil, forget your gold and your platinum and whatnot. The biggest commodity on planet Earth is information, especially personal information. It's worth hundreds of trillions of dollars. This is why there's all these private things now. Europe has gone heavily into.
I think Adam Conover nailed that when he said that. If something is free, you're the product.
Vegas is like that.
Fucking a year-long subscription to Google would be like $11, but they sell your information for considerably more.
Yep.
Yeah, of course they do. Yeah.
Last week I was on Harmonica Man's channel. I had my phone open, and I don't believe in conspiracy theories or woo-woo or anything. I was talking about the banjo I own, about the harmonica I own. The next day I go on YouTube and they're trying to sell me banjos and harmonicas.
Well, that's right, but that's through Facebook and things like that, and Twitter. It's all in their terms of service.
And I know
they're allowed to open your mic and they will look for keywords. So that's why I've ever have a discussion in a pub, let's say, with a friend, which I miss because there's been no pub on here for a year now. When we're discussing, last time we was in a pub, we were discussing Pink Floyd. Literally, when I got home out my phone, I'm getting news feeds about Pink Floyd because the likes of Facebook and Google, in their terms of service, they listen in. I'm not saying I believe they can open your camera as well.
Anyone can open your camera.
Yeah.
Can't open mine when it's unplugged.
Damn right, Purple. I like that attitude. I take it for granted that it's watching me at all times, and I just don't walk around butt naked in front of my computers. That's all I can do.
So the webcam I'm using right now is a USB webcam. The one that's built to my computer is terrible. It's all like the image is granulated. You can't really see shit. But I still have there's a cover that you can flip over it. I have that over. I unplug my webcam and I wait until then to turn on Pornhub or OnlyFans.
Is that why you always unplug the camera? It annoys the fuck out of me.
Well,
see,
it's real though. It's real.
I don't care.
If I'm going to have my nudes on the internet, I'm going to make money. God damn it!
Damn right. Damn right.
Bubs,
you're doing.
I am a professional whore.
Hey, if I would pay for it, I'd do it.
Yeah. Damn right. Damn right.
Bubs, all you got to remember is that God is watching. So just wear socks because he's got a terrible foot fetish as God. Look at the New Testament. Well, look at the New Testament. Jesus loved washing them men's feet, didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Why? He loved touching them feet. So just wear socks. Don't worry about your clothes because God's always watching. Of course he is.
foot fetishes are the weirdest people. I'm gonna say that from personal experience. I'm saying it right now. Men with foot fetishes are the weirdest people.
Well, I don't know where they get that from.
I can confirm as a female who has an OnlyFans, I can fucking confirm.
Dude, well, like, so
It's something about foot people.
like, female friends that would live stream pretty regularly on like YouNow or Twitch or sites like those that are totally non-sexual as a
And
basis.
they'd get asked.
Show feet, fucking constant.
What the hell?
The rare times I ever went live on Instagram, that's what I got. And I was like, yeah, I'll do this.
Yeah.
Oh, but okay, I just remember I was going to say something earlier, but then my ADHD decided to fuck my brain. TikTok, and it was of this Christian
Stop
guy.
interrupting people!
It was of this Christian guy saying, what would you do if Jesus walked in on you and you were watching porn? And I'm like, fuck his dick. It pissed him off so
Like,
Tria's laughing at all of us sex people.
I would look over at Jesus and be like, I'm not gay, but you want to give me a handle?
You know, Bob, your room is framed perfectly right now with the two of you. Because it's like everything above Bob is the collection of beer bottles, and everything above Cat is the unicorns.
You know what's really funny? That I didn't even notice that until now.
We are the
Beer.
superior race.
Beer.
We're the superior race.
Beer is the superior
I'll
race.
cut something off.
No, you
Me
won't.
too. Can I say that? You don't stop pissing me off. Saying unicorns aren't superior.
Beer is the superior
I got a
race.
new unicorn today.
Why don't you show the kids at
I'll
school?
show the kids the unicorn.
The only good thing about beer is that it's keeping you from drinking all my whiskey.
Oh, I miss whiskey.
The taste of beer. I can't do whiskey.
Oh,
I
I
do
can't
too,
stand
Bob.
the taste of beer.
I miss whiskey too.
Yeah,
Everyone
I've got
pays
some hard
attention to my
lemonade here. This is the
obsession.
closest I'll ever get to drinking beer.
Everyone pay attention to the obsession that my autism has chosen. I got a new unicorn. Her name is Easter. She looks like an Easter. egg.
That's a pig
Awesome.
with a horn.
Yes!
It's a pig with a horn.
Oh,
That's
it's
not
so
a unicorn.
Oh, and I got a coloring book that's sparkling unicorns. Oh.
Don't let the Republicans see that. They'll want one. They love their crayons.
Yes, your autism is showing.
Can you tell I'm autistic?
You know what though? With my other setup, when everyone sees my junk behind me, it always becomes show and tell, and that wasn't innuendo.
Yeah.
Like I have a. This is my hoarding room, and like I always end up pulling out a shirt I made or something.
You see,
Every room is a hoarding room. Come on.
The like obvious American flags in your background, the only thing that keeps me from thinking you're a Trump supporter is that you're not a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I did this to reclaim the flag. I did it because the Trump supporters, they're defaming they're exactly. I reclaim the flag. I live here too. I should almost get a sign that says I live here too. Damn right.
Well, they're not Trump supporters anymore, are they? They're patriots.
This is the flag that was given to my grandmother when my grandfather, who served in World War II, died. An actual fucking patriot.
That's
Yep.
what I'm.
Didn't
that-
support fucking Nazis like Trump supporters do.
I don't think people understand. Like I have family that fought in every war since the Civil War, and like no one supported Nazis.
Well, I am
Nobody
really pissed
likes-
about the
because you're
people who
not
are trying to
What?
trying to say they're patriots now, because I always go back to that quote. I think it was from Jefferson, saying that I will defend my country even if I must oppose the government to do so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think what's happening is like people, especially overseas, they're starting to confuse the flag with Trumpers.
Yeah.
You know, and like they are two different entities.
Of course they are.
I'm an American, right? I've perpetually got an American flag in my background. And
America!
I have come to associate the American flag with Trump supporters and
That's
Nazis.
what I'm. Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. It
Yeah.
makes me. I grew up super patriotic, and I'm not like as blind as I was as a kid. But I had my dad was in the military. I would march in 4th of July parade. I was a Boy Scout. I would march in 4th of July parades with all the non-vets with their POW MIA flags. You know.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
So I grew up like loving the idea of what America was, you know, and seeing the trash fire it's turned into now, it's disappointing.
Yeah.
My papa served in the war, and he's now disabled because of it. And he was the one who told me when I learned about the American dream in school. I was maybe like 3rd, 4th grade. I was pretty young, and I came home to tell him about it. I was excited because, you know, my papa, fucking military man. I figured he'd appreciate it, and he's the one who kind of bursted that bubble for me. And it was shocking, like to hear him talk. I mean, he's very patriotic, but he'll say when America has a problem, and he's the one who pointed out how like gays are treated and blacks are treated, and he kind of really bursted that bubble.
Yeah. Something a lot of people don't know: the pink triangle symbol for the gays, that came from the concentration camps. Just like the Jews had to wear the Star of David, the gays were labeled with a pink triangle.
Wow.
Huh,
Well,
I didn't know that.
This is the good thing about America, is that you can see it rebirthing itself. It's becoming more self-aware of the bigotry and the higher up nonsense politics that it's rejecting, and the people are taking it back to be great again. It's becoming a lot more humanist than it was.
True.
When
Religion is dying on its arse faster than anyone could ever think of. And atheism is overtaken, which it should do. I hope it happens worldwide, to be fair, because that
painful though.
it's funny though, because I feel like Christians are louder than ever, even though there's less of them.
Well, I mean that's why I called it the death throes of Christian nationalism. It's like we know we're dying.
Absolutely.
Despite
Absolutely.
70% of the population.
That's
Yeah.
what I always give. I always give this speech, like, and it's not to harp on anybody, but I always say, like, what do you own? Because the older generation, they would like buy land, they would do things because the opportunity was there, and it's like instead of being mad at your other Americans, see what's happened. You know, our government has become humongous.
Well, I mean, like, so something I don't think the older generations remember, and people as old as my dad, who is in his 60s, were able to go to college and work at places like McDonald's, and with their paychecks, pay for their education.
That must be nice.
I don't know what the fuck that's like. I haven't
exactly.
the foggiest idea.
And on that same salary, they could buy a home, take a vacation every year. You know,
live on one paycheck. Now you need like 5 or 6. The only reason I was able to go to college was because I'm smart and got a full ride. If it wasn't for that, I would not have gotten a degree. That would not have been. I'm too fucking poor, and that's bullshit.
Like, if not for my military service and the GI Bill, I would not have gone to school for the time I did.
No.
Just wouldn't have happened.
It's bullshit.
Well, I can see them times coming back, to be honest. I can see it becoming more fair to the people, a lot more secular, obviously. And a lot of money needs to be thrown into education, as far as I'm concerned. For what I see, religion has held American back, especially Christianity has held America back far too long, and that needs to be. They say, religion doesn't get involved with the state, but religion has got its fingers in every pie that America cooks. And religion are there.
I want to say in the late 90s, certain states were allowing religious studies to come into their elementary schools, into their, depending on where you live, and it's sad because here in California we were taught evolution from in elementary school.
My biology teacher taught us about creationism. I said it weirdly, but he said that God created the planet. And the only reason he's teaching us evolution is because he legally has to. But he said that it's fake.
Well, this is it. And religion have literally slowed down the world. They've slowed down humanity. We would have been on Mars 50 years ago, as far as I'm concerned, if it wasn't for religion.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm okay. So actually, I'm gonna take what you said and I'm gonna change it slightly. If Alexandria had not been invaded and the library burned, we would have landed on Mars about 850 years ago.
Oh, there you go.
But
there you go.
Like fucking if you actually look at how the world is, we should have gone from the moon in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, well, Mars is next. We don't really give a shit about the Soviets because we already fucked those fuckers in the ass.
We outlasted them.
Stargate used that to explain why there were some other cultures that had been descended from people on Earth thousands of years ago that were way ahead of us.
Yeah,
that Michael Jackson said, if they didn't have the Dark Ages, they'd be 1,000 years ahead of us.
They used to always use that. I love that show.
Yeah, I love that show, but like after a certain point, it stops making sense. But that's a topic for.
Sense.
Well, I will say,
at a certain point, it stops making sense.
I didn't make
the
entire time.
Well, that's because you weren't paying attention.
The early seasons,
I can't pay attention.
The early seasons taught me about black holes, wormholes, entropic cascade failure, Bayside math. I was obsessed with Stargate when I was a kid. I loved that show. But the later seasons did get kind of,
Yeah,
mostly I love it because it has better internal consistency than any other sci-fi series.
Absolutely.
After season 5 or 6, Stargate SG-1 drops it because, like, canonically, the ancient Egyptians buried the Stargate, so no Stargate travel happened after that. But the problem is there's Gould, who is based off of the Christian version of Satan.
Dokar.
And you've got King Arthur and the Round Table traveling the galaxy.
There were some problems with that.
That was when the Alt-Turns. That's when they brought in the Ori, the space Catholics, basically. That was season 9. Season 9 on.
Okay, Bob. The Egyptians buried their gate. Maybe they were still coming through the gate in Antarctica.
You see, but then they would have frozen to death.
But this is it. If you anyone who makes a sci-fi show now that's going to be popular and it won't date, you need to have a lore behind you that involves a higher being. Star Trek did it. Star Wars did it. Stargate did it.
You better not be trashing on Star Wars.
I'm not trashing on them at all. I'm just saying, if you want these shows to succeed, you need that type of lore behind it.
The Next Generation, I thought the worst thing they did was Q. I thought he should have been left out of the entire series.
Yeah, he was a bit annoying. And omniscient.
Not just a bit annoying, but just him being so all-powerful. It didn't make sense, the interactions they had with him.
Oh, of course not. But even if he wasn't there, they still touched upon on gods in that Star Trek. I mean, you had what was the one with Spock's brother? What was that one called? The film. It was one of the movies where they went to see God at the center of the galaxy. What does God want with a starship? Was the famous saying? It came from that.
third
that movie.
I think
When-
that's third.
Cybok, that was his Spock's brother's
That's
name,
the
wasn't it?
fifth. It's
Cybok.
the I'm so sorry. I was on my thing. It's the fifth. It's the fifth Star Trek, and that's when Kirk looks at it and he says, he tells Kirk, "What? Who are you?" And Kirk says, "Aren't you God? Shouldn't you know that?" I loved that movie when I was a kid.
Yep.
I absolutely loved that movie.
But see,
And it was one of the worst ones made, and I still love it.
yeah, but see, in that they realized that it wasn't really a god; it was somebody pretending to be a god.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
but what I'm saying, they brush on the idea of aliens, of deities and supernatural beings. They have to appease the everyone really, because otherwise, who would watch it?
Yeah. But I mean, like what we were talking about a minute ago, like bringing in Q. I had the vision of this meme, and I googled it to try to find it, but it's not there for some reason. It's Marjorie Taylor Greene saying "I'm with Q," then it cuts to an image of Q with Picard, and he's like, "I swear I have no idea who this bitch is."
Yeah, I've seen that one.
I've seen that one too.
And you've got the likes of them and her and Lauren Boebert, and who just should not have a seat in power at all.
No, they should be removed from office.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Marjorie Taylor Greene, especially after that posting of "There are two genders, trust the science."
Well, what about during the Capitol insurgents when they were trying to get everyone to safety, and she's tweeting out their location?
She was guiding through the Capitol as insurgency.
You know, how is that not giving assistance to the enemy? That's treason.
These people have gotten away with. They have gotten away with things that no one here would be able to. If any of us did that, they would put us in a firing squad. You know,
well, that's it. You get shot for treason. Even in the UK, you get shot for treason.
Oh yeah.
Like, I have no idea what dog or purple look like, so I'm gonna kind of go out on a limb and assume that I'm the whitest of white people in this live stream.
Well, I'll tell you what I look like.
Yeah, I would get in no trouble.
I look like Godless Sewing. I've got the same amount of hair. I'm slightly older than him. I'm 52, and I've got one side of my face is saggy at the moment.
Yeah, Bob, we're really
Oh,
in the
I don't
same
wear
category.
glasses.
We're in the same category because my mom's whole side is Finnish. So in the winter, if I stand in front of a snowbank, you can't see me.
See, since we're talking about race, I'm technically mixed, but I look like the whitest bitch in town. And it's great.
Yeah, my fiance's best friend called me Saltine because she said I was the whitest cracker she knew.
Yeah, that's great.
I mean, like, I'm kind of in aberration, realistically, because my mom did this 23andMe test thing, and apparently my family is mostly English and French with less German than I thought.
That doesn't really surprise me, though. A lot of people.
Well, like, my skin is unusually dark considering that ancestry. Like, you would
Still white as hell.
Yeah, but you'd think I'd be lighter than I am. Like, I constantly have a tan even through the winter.
Must be nice. I can't tan.
You know, like,
Must be nice.
I don't know. It's fucking weird. Like, I don't know. Maybe I had some recessive gene that took over with me. I don't know, because I am darker than you would think I look, considering my ancestry.
Ancestry is funny. I've done research in my family, and it's a kaleidoscope. DNA is a funny thing. The people that are in your family line, you'd laugh. If you look back, you'd be like, "Oh wow." It's weird when you hear the stories of people.
I am suspicious of those places that are doing the DNA test for everyone, because I've seen several studies where they tried sending in DNA from twins and triplets, and they did not come back with the same results.
Well, we all go back to Adam and Eve at the end of the day, don't we?
Oh yeah,
Evidently.
According to the nut jobs, of course.
disgust in my family.
Well, and let's not forget that.
I mean, a fair amount of my family is English, but come on.
That made me so uncomfortable. Never say that again.
Well, let's
Imagine-
not forget that Eve was trans, because when she was created, there was no female DNA.
Well, so was Jesus then.
Lilith made
Absolutely. You know, I saw someone burn someone on Twitter today because they were like, "There's only 2 genders," and someone was like, "Technically, there's only 1." Because Eve came from a rib.
Yeah,
I'm confused. I thought Lilith was made before Eve.
Yes, actually, you're right.
Okay. Okay.
According to the Torah, Lilith was kicked out of the Garden of Eden because she refused to kneel for Adam.
Oh,
Yeah.
me too, bitch.
Well,
Yeah.
okay. She didn't refuse to kneel before Adam. She refused to lay under Adam.
Me too, bitch.
That was the thing.
That could be depending on which translation you've got, but yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, she thought she should be Adam's equal, so they kicked her out, and then they made Eve.
Well, also,
it's good.
Yeah.
also, before Genesis was the Book of Job. Who wrote that? He was involved in that. Read the
Yeah,
Book of
because
Job.
The Book of Job is older. Well, like when you're dating, I heard this when I was a
Well,
kid
it's
in
a century younger. It's a century older, sorry,
than the Bible, right?
than Genesis. Yeah, the Book of Genesis.
Yeah,
It's
Tria
just-
brings up another point about like those 23andMe sites that we were talking before about how companies sell your information to all over the place.
You consent
Oh, yeah.
whenever you do the current terms and conditions and all that, though.
Yep.
People just
Yeah.
don't read the fine print.
That's
So they
and-
basically tell you everything up into. They basically say we can do anything we want, including cloning you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you
Just to prove that point that no one reads the fine print, a cell phone company in the UK had put a paragraph in their terms of service that by signing up, you agreed to do 1,000 hours of community service. And
I like that, though.
yeah, 30,000 people signed that without seeing that in there. Only one person actually went through with it.
Yeah.
But they did that just to prove to the court that the terms of service were rubbish.
Yeah, no one reads them. Of course they don't.
No,
I
mean,
do.
I don't think that should necessarily like completely eliminate terms of service, because like you have the Alex Joneses of the world getting booted off YouTube, thankfully, fucking mercifully, because of violations of terms of service. I absolutely think if you cross a certain line, you should be booted.
These people are trying to start revolutions that they're not going to fight. That's what makes me angry. If someone was up there saying, I'm on the front line, I'd say, hey, no, but these people, they're grifters. They're making money off of things that they don't even agree with.
Yeah.
I don't, that's what I believe.
Yeah, and I mean, you got people like me that literally joined the military, were willing to spend time on the front lines, fucking family who literally
Absolutely.
in the fight against Nazis. So I'm not saying that I'll go out and kill Nazis, but killing Nazis is literally in my blood. So
on my Twitter, on the back banner, I have a patch that I made. It said "Kill Nazis like your grandfather did."
yeah,
Well-
I saw that. I kind of wanted to bring it up, but I'm like, be more
No,
fun
because my
the live stream.
yeah,
Killing
exactly.
Nazis is literally what made America the heroes of the world.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I mean, like, fucking the people that post the back-to-back world war champions thing, like they're completely missing out on the point.
Or the joke.
Yeah, my father was in World War II in France.
Yeah, I mean, my grandfather on my dad's side was in the Navy, and he was on a repair ship, so he was for the most part safe, but he still got into areas where he could totally not illegally collect war trophies, which he totally did not do.
Oh,
Yep.
my grandpa totally did not do that either.
Yeah, so it's not like my family owns Maltese crosses collected from the corpses of SS officers or anything
Nothing
along
like
those
that.
lines. Yeah, no, my family.
You know what?
doesn't.
I totally don't own wrenches and screwdrivers that say property of the United States Navy on them either. I totally do not own things like that at all. At all.
I'm just going to excuse myself for a minute, guys.
Alright.
I'm just going to excuse myself for a minute. I'll be back in a second.
Yeah, my
My,
dad didn't even want to talk about what happened during the war. You know, we really didn't know even about how many medals he had until he was gone. He had 2 Purple Hearts.
Oh, wow.
So most of what I've learned about his infantry division, I've had to learn from history books.
My dad, he kind of my dad had hardcore PTSD from Nam because he was there for so long. So he was a little bit more open about it because he went to massive amounts of therapy. From the 80s all the way until like 2010, he was still getting therapy.
Yeah, my papa's still getting therapy for his shit because he was a pilot, so he saw a lot of shit.
Oh, yeah.
He is still getting therapy for his shit.
I'm basically, out of all my brothers, I'm the only person that didn't serve. And like my brother, I have 2 older brothers that are getting therapy right now because of Iraq
Yeah.
and Afghanistan.
My dad's generation didn't believe in therapy. You just didn't talk about it, and you drank excessively.
You just described my father. That was like, he internalized a lot, and we were actually talking about this because my cousin, I haven't seen her in forever. She came over. Like, I could not drink as much as my father did, but that's how he was trying to drink his pain away. You know,
Yeah.
He lived way longer because of the VA. He lived way longer than he should have because he had great health insurance.
Yeah.
You know, but
I maintain the only reason my dad lived as long as he did was that God and the devil were playing cards, and the loser had to take him.
I
Delayed.
have this.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
This is a delayed response to what you said. Didn't you say you're the first person in your family who didn't go to the military or something like that?
3, myself and 3 of my cousins.
Yeah,
But we're
see,
all on the same age.
it's about the same for me because I have a long line of military people, but with how many like mental illnesses and disabilities I have, I couldn't go into the military. My mother was pissed, like mad at me for it, and it's great. It was to the point where I had seen so many recruiters from each branch of the military that I lost count. Because I was just hoping miraculously that someone would give me a different answer.
In my family, they thought the recruiters, because so many people in my family had served, man, they came to my house because they thought they had another one.
Yeah.
And they took an X-ray of my lungs, and they were like, "Have a nice life."
Yeah.
I'm important. I would have cost them more money.
So my grandfather, even though he never served a day in combat, still didn't ever talk about his time in the military, period, in discussion. I will guarantee he had stories while he was still alive, but he's not now, so those stories are gone. Yeah, and I served in the military. I didn't deploy. I didn't do any of that shit, but there are still some things I don't like to talk about.
Yeah.
Because I was a cop, and when I was in, mass shootings were on the rise. So the training for that was also on the rise. And something that I have a really hard time talking about sober, but I've been drinking, so it's a little easier right now. One of the things I had to do for part of my training for an active shooter was watch video of the Columbine shooting.
Yikes.
Yeah. like actual fucking footage from the cameras inside the school.
I was in this weird group on Facebook, and I took myself out of that group because they were showing that footage, and I just couldn't take it.
Yeah, no, it's completely fucked up. Like fucking, like okay, so the footage was shown to us in a group, and like fucking, there were so many different reactions to it. It like there was one part of the video, and it's gonna sound so horribly fucked up, and it's gonna make all of us, including me, sound bad.
So zone out right now. Should I probably zone out?
Probably.
Okay, I'm gonna.
But like, there's one part. It's video from the school library in college, and one of the kids runs away. Just this kid just fucking runs away. Actually, gets away with it, and one of the shooters that has the shotgun yells, "Come back here," and the kid that ran away yelled back, "Fuck you." There aren't a whole lot of expected reactions to that, but I don't think for the general population, laughter would be one.
Yeah.
I chuckled.
The vast majority of the people in the room laughed because the tension was so thick. You would need like one of the high-end Japanese steak-cutting knives to cut through.
No, that's why dark humor works, because laughter is what people do when they don't know what to do.
Yeah, and what the fuck do you do to that?
We were shown, obviously, military versus police academy are two different fucking things. But we were shown school shooting footage and stuff too. And obviously, I wasn't diagnosed with autism back then. I was just diagnosed a couple months ago. And so I didn't know I was autistic. I didn't know that what I was having was like a sensory overload issue. But I am having a panic attack so bad. The guidance counselor called my mother, and my mother doesn't pick me up from school. And my guidance counselor got so pissed at my mother because she didn't pick me up that she said, fuck it, took the risk, and just drove me home herself, which could have gotten her in a lot of trouble. But that's how bad of a panic attack I was having. I've heard shit about that footage, and I would not imagine watching it.
And I didn't even imagine the 10 out of the 50 people who were in the room that had to run out of the room so they could vomit.
Yeah.
I lived in Mexico, and I don't think the average person. Oh, sorry.
It's sickening, and it was required viewing.
It would be concerning if you didn't have a response to that. Even if it's like, I don't want to say the wrong response, but like wrong response, to it. As long as you have a response, I feel like that's natural. If you don't have a response to it, there's something wrong. Like, you shouldn't be there. You shouldn't, you get what I'm saying. Get what I'm trying to say.
Totally.
Yeah, it's like, why would you show that footage to anyone?
I love how you told me I should zone out and I didn't.
Yeah.
I was in this.
I was wondering about that.
I forgot to. Because that's how I forgot to zone out right after I asked.
Yeah.
My brain works well.
Yeah, as long as you're coming through it okay.
Yeah, usually I have worse responses, but I'm coloring, so I'm not really fully focusing. I'm coloring unicorns.
Mm-hmm.
Fucker.
Yeah, the adult coloring books have gotten to be quite popular.
Yeah.
Well, they've
A lot
always
of
been
people
popular.
say they're good for stress release.
Yeah, and I have noticed when I get to having issues with my tism, it helps a lot.
Although we have to come up with a better term than adult coloring books because people expect them to be pornographic then.
I expected him to. The first time someone gave me an adult coloring book, I was like, ooh.
You know,
Yeah.
Disappointed.
I bought an old Star Trek coloring book for like $1 at a thrift store, and I still haven't colored in it.
Oh, I
It's
just
from
got
the 70s.
and I'm already doing it.
Yeah.
Because Ben loves me and he gets me unicorn stuff all the time because I'm spoiled.
You see, it's funny because Unicorn Cat likes to describe themselves as spoiled now, but it's just basic human decency they're receiving for like the first time ever.
Gotta keep in mind, until I moved in with him, 7 months ago, 8 months
Yeah.
ago, I had been abused in like every way possible. So him just giving me basic attention and the things that I need, I honestly feel the need to say that like I feel spoiled. So
Yeah. I've had relationships with people that were in abusive relationships, and it's like, yeah.
I'm used to like my ex would, and I just now recently started talking about this too, but when I lived with him, he would just get me drunk and high the entire time so he wouldn't have to deal with me. He didn't have to feed me. He didn't have to.
That's a form of control. That's totally a way of controlling someone too. Because you just medicate him and put him in a corner, basically.
Yeah. But then he'd bitch and moan about having to babysit me when he's the one who got me drunk and high.
Yeah.
But Ben's gotten me. I've been, other than 1 or 2 drinks.
Show the cup.
Yeah, like
that's all they have.
Yeah, that's all I
beer.
have now. And I've only done that twice in the last 2.5 months. So I've pretty much been sober. And I've been clean of like hard drugs for 7-8 months the entire time I've been here. But when I first got here too, he didn't make me do cold turkey. He kind of like gave me some alcohol a week and got me down, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But no,
well, I mean,
he didn't do that.
The level of dependency you're at, you had to be weaned off.
Yeah, if I wasn't weaned off, there'd be issues. Withdrawal.
Well,
I don't know if people know that.
Nicotine. Sorry.
One thing you do know, Kat, one thing you do know is there are nice human beings on the planet.
Well, the sad thing is, a person who was almost a perfect stranger had to show them that.
Yeah, like there's the person that I considered a sister who just randomly ghosted me and blocked me without explanation. So as far as I'm concerned, not counting people online, people in real life, Ben's the only person that I actually trust. And that's kind of sad.
Yeah.
But
well, this is it. The main thing about mental health issues is having a good support group.
Yeah, and I have one person. Not that I'm ungrateful, but I appreciate you. But.
Well, you've got plenty more now. I mean, look at your screen. There's plenty more here who will listen and have a chat and a laugh with you.
See, my brain doesn't register that though. I don't know why. I need someone to point it out to me, or my brain doesn't register it.
Yeah.
I've changed my avatar to an actual picture of me, by the way.
Awesome.
Pre-stroke. Some kids say I look like some kids a couple of years ago said, "Oh, you look like Jason Statham's dad," which I was a little offended by because Jason Statham himself is 4 years older than me. little fucking bastards. I should have kicked their asses, Jason Statham style.
I think I might be kind of pissy about that too. Being called Jason Statham's dad.
That's
being like, if someone said you look like Jason Statham's dad and you're 4 years younger than Jason Statham, I'd probably be pissed about that.
That's the actor you just did. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm young. I'm young.
This
I don't
is
know who that is.
Unicorn Cat has no idea who that is.
Who's that?
Oh, I know who he is. He's sexy.
Who?
Hey,
honestly, I don't know who he is either.
Jason Statham or Jason Statham's dad?
Yeah, I pay so little attention to celebrities that giving me names doesn't help if I don't see pictures.
It's,
You,
it's how I am.
you look moderately like Jason Statham. You got a chance.
I know who Jason Statham is. He's a hottie, and he fights.
What?
He can fight too, at least in the movies.
He's an action hero, isn't he?
Jen and I just watched what's that movie called? It's not The Eraser. I'm thinking of Arnold Schwarzenegger. What's the it's called something else. Is
it the one where he has to keep like giving himself electric jolts to not die?
No, but that movie is so amazing. The first one.
That's Crank.
Oh, that
Crank,
movie
that's it. That's what I was
amazing.
So I'll just have to go and Google this for that movie with that guy and see what results I get. That's all you're giving us to go on.
Jason Statham, he always plays the action hero.
Yeah, now that he showed me a picture of him, I need a face. I don't do names,
Yeah.
but I know who he is now. He's,
Okay, Tria's saying Transporter.
Oh yeah, was he in the Expendables as well?
He was in the Expendables. Yeah, he's in all three of them.
A couple of those, I think.
He played Christmas.
Christmas, really? Now I'm thinking of Christmas Jones from the 007 movie.
Yeah. No, he played Christmas. He was Stallone's number 2. And I can't remember what his name was. Barney Ross, I think his name was, isn't it?
Because I need something to bite on. That's not.
Yeah.
I'm not
Of course.
tomorrow.
Yes. So,
Okay.
because his character's name is Christmas, I started thinking of Christmas Jones from I don't remember which Bond movie. But at the end of the movie where Bond's like, I thought Christmas only came once a year. It's like, I am sorry for her and her sexual not for her sexual partners, but sorry about her sexual partners.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, but Bond, even in the books, was a misogynistic prick.
Oh yeah, no, that is.
What are we talking about? I'm having.
Oh, it's The World Is Not Enough. Denise Richards, The World Is Not Enough.
Yes. Oh my God, she's so hot. But it sounds clever on its face, but like the idea of saying that you're so good at sex that like a woman doesn't come more than once a year until she meets you is.
Yeah, I don't think that's savvy as he thought it was. Then.
Yeah.
Like as soon as you give it a second thought, you're like, "Wait, this isn't right." That's
probably
actually a bad
accurate
thing.
though, because most men don't make women come. But
Well,
Well, that was basically James Bond films, wasn't it? They would show a real strong woman who, in the end, would lie on her back and show her belly to be tickled at the end of the day. Yeah, that was Bond films all over.
What
You
all
just
the Bond
described every
film
Bond
proves
movie.
is that if she says no 50 times and then says yes, that means yes.
Oh, my.
Jesus, what?
no,
I'm
you haven't watched any of the old Bond films then.
I'm ripping this off of
Isolated for 18 years.
ContraPoints. Was it ContraPoints? I never even realized it until I watched a video of. There's a scene where Sean Connery's 007 is basically telling Pussy Galore, like, give it to me, and she's like, nope,
Did you say
and he just
Pussy Galore?
Yes, the character's name is Pussy Galore.
Yeah.
and he just basically throws her on hay and does her anyways.
But the world is sort of overcompensating now for LGBTQ. I read today that the makers of Mr. Potato Head had taken away his pronoun. I mean, I find that unnecessary.
They have not. That's been grossly exaggerated. The new box still says Mr. Potato Head on the bottom. It just says Potato Head in the big type because they're now identifying it as the family rather than the individual character.
Even then, potatoes don't have genders, so
Yeah.
why does it matter?
Yeah.
Well, they do. To be fair,
It's just a matter of what accessories they put in the box, whether it's the Mr. or Mrs.
Yeah. And like, so as a kid, as someone who has played with the Potato Head brand,
What the fuck is
Well-
this live stream? We've gone from talking about horror.
I think I got the news article wrong then. That was my bad.
I
So
don't
people
know.
are just
No, you got the news article
Thank
right.
you.
The reporters have been really bullshitting the way they're reporting it.
go
And
figure.
Twitter
like
exploded to the point where I've been ignoring it because people on Twitter, when they start talking about stuff like that, I'm like, oh, here we go again.
Yeah, I mean, like when I was a little kid, the Mr. Potato Head thing came in a box with like a ridiculous number of interchangeable things, and a lot of the different parts for the Potato Head were what were like traditionally female features.
Yeah,
I always
And we didn't think a thing of it. It's just a potato that you dress
yeah.
up.
You'd get a mustache and a pair of high heels in the same box.
yeah, I don't know. Mix that.
You know, the idea was that kids could make it anything they wanted it to be.
Well, so Mr. Potato Head, even at its conception, was a trans toy.
Yeah,
Progressive.
like or
Non-binary.
yeah. yeah, like gender non-conforming basically is what the Potato Head brand used to be. Is,
Yeah.
And then Toy Story came out.
Yeah.
Do you know Toy
That-
Story 3 traumatized me? Toy Story 3 was a traumatizing movie.
Yeah, that was the one with the Lotso bear, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm still mad at Salazzo. I'm still mad at Salazzo.
I actually
That
only watched the
fucked me
first
up.
two.
That
Like-
fucked me up though.
Like the first one came out when I was age appropriate for it. The second one was like when I was right on the border. After that, I stopped caring.
Dude, there is no such thing as no longer being age appropriate for Pixar and Disney. Suck my dick if you want to.
Yeah, I think the problem with the third one is it was toys being cruel to toys. Up
Yeah.
until that point, it was a thing about humans versus toys. It wasn't
And the
the
human
civil war within the toy world.
Oh, it made me cry so hard. In the first 10 minutes, I cried. And then it's traumatizing in the stuff that happens. And then in the end, I was like big crying at the end. That movie was traumatizing.
Yeah, it fucked me up because the whole everybody moves on and from you and like throws you away. I felt it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, I was going through a divorce too. So that it made me cry even more.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the Potato Head thing, I think Hasbro was just going to be neutral. And it's just some reporters have blown it up to be something that was never intended to be.
Yeah. Go
I
figure.
agree. I agree. And they just go in honestly, any reason they can use to trash the LGBTQIA plus community, they'll do it.
Yeah.
You know, any way they can
Well,
trash people.
It's really like, is there anything a company can do that there won't be somebody getting on Twitter and Facebook, you know, twisting some narrative that this is a horrible thing?
No.
I absolutely adore and love my cousin. She is I don't even want to say her age. She's a little bit older. She's a different generation than mine. She came over to my house today and I had to explain pronouns to her.
Oh,
She's like, you're woke. Explain this to me.
Well, this is what makes me totally ignorant. I understand sexes and gender. I understand the differences, but all these 100 genders, I'm totally ignorant of them for the reason that I do. If some guy in a beard come up to me and said, "My name is Rachel. I identify as he or she, she and her," I would treat them like that. I would respect that fact. That,
at least you're not an ass
What?
about it. About
Well,
not understanding.
But would you like to explain the differences as a non-binary person?
What do you mean?
But would you be mad if someone misgendered you and didn't know?
So for gender, I don't understand it much on a scientific point of view, although I am looking into it. For me personally, like for pronouns, I always just say that my gender dysphoria makes me extremely uncomfortable and anxious when people refer to me as a girl or
Mhm.
she, her pronouns. And the same thing with he, him pronouns. So the neutral thing is just they. I don't understand it on a scientific point of view, but like that's what I usually try to explain to people whenever
Yeah.
they don't understand it. It's just it makes me anxious, it makes me uncomfortable, and it triggers my gender dysphoria.
Do you know, after our conversation, I kind of told her, like, respect what people what people tell you.
Yeah.
Because again,
Yeah.
you know, if you walk up to someone and you don't know their pronouns, they'll tell you. From that
Yeah.
moment on, it's on you. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that's,
But
I understand it, but I slip a lot because unless I'm actually thinking about it at the time, I just go by however the person's presenting at the
Yeah.
moment.
See, as long as people aren't doing it on purpose, like you, Purple, you referred to me as she earlier. I just corrected you, like politely,
Yeah.
calmly.
Yeah.
As long as you're not doing it on purpose to piss me off, like some transphobes will, I'll just correct you calmly. Because like I refer to
Yeah.
myself as she sometimes. I fuck
Yep.
up. I dead name myself sometimes.
Well,
Jen
you know,
I
and
talk about
I
this
had
all
a
the time.
friend who, yeah, some days presented as male and some days presented as female, and I just went with however they looked at the time.
Yeah.
Although,
Like, I mean-
honestly, while they were born biologically male, they never looked right in boy clothes.
Yeah.
Well,
And,
to be fair, people who come out, I think it takes a lot of courage in the first place.
Oh, it definitely
I-
does because
I
you
respect
you risk
that.
losing a lot of people that way.
Oh, yeah.
I totally respect that. My ignorance comes in with the pronouns. I avoid them like the plague, and I know I shouldn't.
Just
You know,
Well,
though, but you're not coming from a malicious place. Like, there's people who go out of their way to maliciously misgender someone.
oh,
yeah,
I certainly don't have a phobia of people who identify as whatever they want to. When someone wants to identify as a flying fish, go treat them as a flying fish. They be whatever they want. As long as they're happy, I'm happy.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say like it's however they want, because I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think Unicorn Cat really wants to be they them.
it's just
It's-
I need to.
Yeah, I chose my words poorly, Bill, but you know what I meant.
Yeah.
Whatever they want to be is whatever they or wherever they are is what they want to be, and if they're happy with that, I'm happy. I'll respect that.
Yeah, you have to let
Fully.
each person define themselves. You can't define them.
I mean,
Exactly.
we're definitely not like applying or inferring
You did it
what
on
you're
purpose.
saying.
Yes.
Oh, Purple. I wouldn't say that. I've defined Lauren Bobbitt as a filthy twat. And
Yeah, but that's based on the track record. So
That's
But
true.
what's his name? The godless. I don't know who you are.
Will.
You call me
Yeah.
Will.
Will.
Well, okay, well, Will, you mentioned there's people who are out of malice using the wrong pronouns. I had put out a video about a therapist that I'd spoken to who told me that my haircut made me look like I was gay and dead named me and referred to me as she and said that I was a pretty girl. And I posted that on TikTok. And at first, I don't know how much you know about TikTok, but there's like straight TikTok where the boys are, the transphobic boys are.
Oh,
and then
wow.
it originally got on straight TikTok, and people were purposefully mispronouncing me. And they would say shit like, this doesn't actually happen while doing exactly that. But to add some humor to it, someone said, but you are a girl. So I had responded to that comment but while shaking my hips, making fapping noises to make it seem like I had a dick to confuse them. But just to add a little humor to it, though. I like to fuck with people like that. They don't need to know what's in my pants, so I'll fuck with them.
I do.
Yeah,
You know,
unless I want to date you, what's in your pants doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I feel like that. People, and that's the one thing I don't understand. I always say that I don't understand. I do, but I don't like how other people want to patrol other people's pants. Like, it's none of my business. What I don't know. I still believe in being a private citizen and minding your own business.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I don't care actually in any context what someone has in their pants. Like, I'll date a trans woman whether she's pre-op or post-op. It doesn't
Matter.
matter because it shouldn't.
Pansexual.
But see, that's the thing. You're not insecure. Like,
I'm
and that's
pretty-
another thing.
Like,
You're not insecure.
I mean-
There's a lot of people like it's
Yeah.
it's the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to say insecure. It's just,
Well, and Tria said she'd be decking that head doctor. And yeah, personally, I think, as a therapist, if this is someone who's a mental health professional, they should have their license revoked for that.
Oh,
that was my first thought.
They were reported to the what board? The
Um,
board where
I
the
don't know.
therapists respond to or something.
Something.
Yeah, the medical ethics board or something.
And they were reported to that. I don't know if they've lost their license. That was like 2 days ago. But I do know that the report's going to take a while to go through. But
Yeah.
I did make sure that they were reported and stuff. And
Well,
I found
that's good.
out when I reported them that their boss is trans. So they were happy.
Oh,
Yeah, they were happy.
Here in California, if you maliciously misgender someone, you will lose your job.
Yeah,
It's
there's
law.
laws against
It's
it.
a law.
It's considered malpractice and discrimination. Yeah, sorry.
So you have to say,
Yeah.
hey, this person's a dick.
Yeah.
Get 'em out of here.
Also, can I be brutally honest here and say the whole world is better for it. It's a lot more diverse all of a sudden. It's brilliant. I love it. I do.
Well, the world's always been this diverse. It's just a matter
We're now
of
being
people.
accepted.
Yeah, like,
Well, obviously it's equality acts and things that are all coming out all of a sudden that have just brought it all to the forefront. And actually, I love it. I love how people are. I love the way they work and how they think, and it's
I
amazing.
actually have some good news on that front for me.
Yeah.
That in a couple of days, I'll have been here for 1 year, and I finally found a therapist I can talk to.
Awesome.
The criteria of someone who my insurance will accept, whose office is within 75 miles and is not religiously affiliated, was pretty hard to match.
wow. Hell.
I agree with that. Is their name Trial? Trial. Trial?
Yep.
I think it's
Everybody just calls her Tria.
People want things to be simple. That's the way it boils down to. It's so true. It is so true. That's why even I
like,
had to explain my cousin today.
it's entirely possible that I'm oversimplifying my sexuality, but I identify as a straight man, and just like dating a trans person or a non-binary person does nothing in my mind to change that. Like,
I feel like
I don't
I'm
know
bi.
if that's coming across the wrong way or not, but like,
no, I don't think it came across the. I think they were kind of agreeing with you in a way, because
yeah.
I can make
Well,
that.
I mean, like, in context, me identifying as straight, but being down to date or fuck with someone who's trans or non-binary, like that does nothing to change my sexuality. I still view myself as straight.
Absolutely.
But like a trans woman who hasn't had surgery yet, I don't care. They're still a woman. A non-binary person, it doesn't matter to me. Like, because there's that, like I kind of feel awkward bringing physical biology into it, and that probably is going to make me sound bad, but it's
No, I know exactly what you're saying. I know exactly
Yeah.
what
It's
you're
hard
saying.
to
Bringing
put into
physical
words.
biology into it is not automatically a bad thing, because everyone has preferences for what they find attractive. Everyone is going to have some physical features that they're going to really love and some that will put them off.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, so like to take it to the I'm willing to fuck with trans woman thing. Like I'm willing to date or have sex with a trans woman who hasn't gone through bottom surgery yet. I don't think that changes my sexuality at all.
No, because sexuality is about gender. They're still a woman.
Yeah. And like even non-binary people, it doesn't. I don't know. I still don't see myself as on the pansexual spectrum, if that makes any sense.
I know what you're saying. I'm bi, and I know exactly what you're saying. I feel the exact same way.
I'm probably phrasing it very poorly, but
no, I
no, you're not. No, you're not.
Well, for me, all my life, it's been kind of, that finding new terms and realizing that, oh yeah, that's really it. That, because I started out with bisexual in the 80s because at the time that's really all there was.
Yeah.
So just kind of advancing with the pansexual and gender fluid and non-binary.
Yeah.
I went from gay to bi to possibly gay to bi to gay to pan, bi, pan.
Yeah, it's just the one thing I knew all along was that I was never straight.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I love how someone put it into words.
Well, Triatio makes a good point in the chat. It's about getting the information out there, and that is it. It's awareness and education on it, really. I believe.
I agree with you. And it's
Tria's asexual, which is another group that has not been recognized by most of society.
But I agree with what Dog's saying, though. Like, you gotta have awareness.
And again, religion is slowing this process down again. Obviously, they're gonna.
Oh, they're trying to bring us back to the Dark Ages.
Exactly.
Again.
I mean, I did a video year and a half ago. No, it was probably closer to a year and a half to 2 years ago. Had Luciano Gonzalez and I think Tria actually. It was one of my sex ed videos, which I've been
sex is fun.
Remiss in creating more of that content. But I had a video on asexuality. I had them in a live stream, and I just kind of all I did was ask them questions, and they did all the talk, all the work. But I mean, if you're gonna talk to people about asexuality, you should probably have asexuals in the conversation.
Just the non-binary and the woman video.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. If you're going to try to be talking about any group, you need to have people who represent that group on the panel.
Yeah, and those are the videos on my channel that I'm the most proud of. The sex ed asexuality video, I had asexuals on, and I did almost none of the work. The women on the internet video, the non-binary on the internet video, those are some of the videos that I'm the most proud of, and I had almost nothing to do with them.
Yeah, I haven't got to watch the non-binary one yet.
It's good.
I'm in it, so you'll like it.
Awesome.
Self-plug.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm definitely about that shameless self-promotion, but I mean, these are actually the videos I'm most proud of, and I have almost nothing to do with them because,
you're not mansplaining it, and you're not being a prick about it.
And I'm actually helping oppressed minorities break out of a cycle.
Yeah, well, and that's being a good moderator. You're admitting you're not an authority on the subject, so you bring in people who know more about it than you do.
Which I love because I feel like most cis-het men don't do that.
Well, okay, so just shut your mouth, honey, and I'll
fucking bite your. You know, you can bite your finger off. You can bite someone's finger off with the stick biting a carrot. Put that fucking finger in my face, and I've bitten carrots all the time. Ah!
But seriously, all the Christians who get so wound up about gays, look at all of the stuff about Jesus. He hung around with 12 guys, virtually never mentioned women.
In
You
his
can't tell
30s,
me there wasn't something going on there.
Well, they all end up.
They're their own worst enemies, religion. I mean, they're ignorant and backward thinking. It is making atheists.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah,
guys remember Ted Haggard? Do you guys remember Ted Haggard?
I don't
Oh,
know
God.
who that is.
So
Yeah.
Ted Haggard was an evangelical pastor who was an advisor to George Bush. He famously kicked Richard Dawkins off his property when Richard Dawkins was filming a documentary, and years later he was found in a hotel room smoking meth with his. Everyone says that
Go
it was
figure.
a gay prostitute, but I think it was his boyfriend. And because they always say prostitute, but you're not going to hang out. Like they were really familiar. Let's
Well,
just
there
say
were
that
also
way.
regulars.
So
Well,
a lot
that
of
was
these
it.
religions-
I will do violence.
of
You know-
violence.
I will do a violence. You know the meme, mother, I crave violence. It's fucking me. If I was a real unicorn, well, I am a real unicorn, but you know what I mean. I go around shanking people. Just saying.
Well, that's the scandals with the Catholic priests, isn't it? And the young boys.
Oh, yeah.
There was one. I think he was a 3rd century pope who said, "Sex with young boys is natural and normal."
Oh, I'm gonna shank people. I have a horn.
Now Unicorn Cat is a stabby Unicorn Cat.
Yeah, take that weapon away from her, mate. I'd take that weapon away from her.
Yeah. Well, you know what? As far as the Catholic Church and the priests go, I mean, if you tell a guy that you can have a job with us, but you'll never have sex for the rest of your life, what do you expect to happen?
Well, this is it. This is what makes them sexual deficient, and because of that, you have all this genital mutilation and nonsense like that goes on just to repress the urges, and
So-
Yeah.
it's not that. There was a thing with the Jewish rabbis. I think it was in Finland, where the government had to make it law that they weren't allowed to suck the wound, which is what they were doing. They were sucking the wound, and these babies were getting STDs. They were getting syphilis and all
I heard
sorts.
about that. I heard
Yeah,
about that.
Yeah, that wasn't. It's not a thing specifically for any one country, but that was a thing for the Orthodox Jews. That after
Yeah.
performing the bris, the rabbi would suck the wound.
I'm happy.
Oh,
See,
I mean,
it's so gross. That is so gross.
religion is just an awful thing that humanity can do without. I can understand Bronze Age of thinking, oh, what's their way of thinking and so on, saying because the Bible is basically misogynist. It's against women, full stop.
You know,
Yeah.
I think about that all the time. Like, how have we come this far and we're still believing in a book? Well, some people are still believing in a book from thousands of years ago. That doesn't apply.
Because there's money to be made in it.
Yeah. Well,
And Drew.
why
Look at
can't
Kenneth
people accept-
Copeland's got 2 jumbo jets.
Cleflo Dollar, all those guys, TD Jakes, all those
Robert
guys.
Tilton.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah, why
okay.
can't people just accept the idea that over a few centuries we've learned a bit more?
I wonder about
Yeah,
that all the
exactly.
time.
Well, exactly.
I actually have a interesting genital mutilation story, which is a weird thing to say.
Yes, that's a very weird sentence.
The first time I've
When I
ever heard
was-
that.
When I was in high school, the church I went to, the youth ministers started this group called Dead Theologian Society, which actually is historically fascinating. And I'm not being even in the slightest bit ironic. But it covered different Catholic saints. And I can't remember this dude's name. But he basically lived the life of a hermit. Never married, never had kids, any of that. Never had sex, allegedly. And, there's a story from this dude's life where he's having lustful thoughts and he throws himself into a briar of bushes.
What?
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
and
wasn't that
that's
what?
told is a good thing.
Wasn't that what the self-flagellation was all about?
Yes.
You know, that
Yeah,
they
so this
would
dude
whip
probably threw him
themselves.
self-testicles first.
See, I actually was taught that hurting yourself will deter bad thoughts. That's what I was told at church by the youth person.
That's
And
crazy.
everybody was shocked when I started self-harming. But that's what I was literally taught by the church.
Yeah.
Doesn't work.
I
Just like
was
Dog said,
never
religion
taught
is
that
poison.
correctly, but it was absolutely inferred.
Insinuated. Yeah. Oh, but back to what, okay, again, I have ADHD, I'm going to keep pointing it out. But back to what Purple was saying about, like, we've learned more about, like, gender and stuff in this last, whatever, century. Interesting fact, one of my, if you can't tell, I hyperfixate. One of my hyperfixations when I was little was ancient Egypt. And they actually didn't have a gender binary, a whole lot at least. Like there was a famous, I think it would be Pharaoh, but she referred to herself as the king. She referred herself as the king, and that shit was normal. So
Yeah,
I
that
don't know why.
Cleopatra.
No.
Well, Pharaoh
Different.
means king. Well, it was either Cleopatra or I think it was Ophelius.
Yes, but I don't know why we went from that to not even accepting they, them pronouns that are literally taught as pronouns in elementary school.
Well, a lot of it is just
Girl.
Not.
a lot of it's from when these things were translated into English, because often the languages they came from did not make gender distinctions like that.
That is true.
Yeah, it's a fairly new phenomenon, actually. But I mean, like let's talk about someone I featured in the video I premiered earlier today. Andy Fellows, cool person, love talking to them. But I mean, if you're looking at them from a distance, you don't have a clear view of physical features. You're gonna see the hair on Andy and assume female.
Yeah.
You're also possibly gonna see polish on fingernail tips, which
Which I fucking love.
quite often I see on Andy in their videos. So you're gonna look at them and assume her,
Which is
but you're probably not gonna say that out loud because you don't actually know. So you're gonna say they.
Mhm.
But it's not natural to say they, them.
Yeah.
There was literally a tweet, I think he sent it to me actually, and it was someone, I don't understand what non-binaries want us to call them.
I saw a tweet.
Yeah.
Like
I'm
I've seen
pretty
like
sure
that
that was meant to be like parody.
Well, yeah,
I
but
get the
people
feeling.
actually say that to me though. Like,
Yeah. Like I get the feeling the tweet was parody because I saw so many of my friends who were like mutuals of that person.
retweeting and
Yeah,
stuff.
retweeting and liking it. So I'm kind of like on the precipice
But
of saying it's
a parody for a reason because people actually say it.
yeah, parody masquerades reality. often.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it too is people get stuck in their ways. Like my cousin today, she came from a place of concern, and so we had a conversation about it. But she basically told me like, she kept on saying my generation, and it's one of those things. People, we tell ourselves certain things and we start believing it. We just get stuck in our ways.
Yep.
So it's difficult for certain people.
See, I never understood that. I don't know if it's just my tism making it hard to understand people, because it is a thing, or if it's just me. I get told something and then I'm like, oh, so I was wrong. Okay, let's change that then.
Yeah,
I don't
I'm the same way.
understand why people are so difficult to change and to adapt.
If it's something you've been doing for a lot of years, it's hard to, rewrite that bit in your brain.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like the part of the millennial generation I come from. I'm one of the old millennials. I was born at the beginning of the
Old man.
generation. Yeah, I have some of the difficulties that Gen Xers do. But the difference is I actually try to course correct.
Jen and I talk about this all the time. You just have to not be an a-hole about it. Like, as long as you're showing that you're trying, as long as you're not, because, that person will know if you're sincere or not.
Yeah.
So they'll just say, hey, it was a mistake, no big deal. Or they'll say, hey, you're an a-hole, go away,
Yeah.
Well, don't forget. Sorry, I was just say, don't forget. Before, social media and things like that, but a lot of people were very ignorant. It was only we knew about lesbians, we knew about gays, we knew about bisexuals and straight people, and that was about it. Yeah. All of a sudden, once them six genetic markers were identified, there's been this explosion of sexual identities that everyone's abiding by. It is hard to keep up with. That's why I just respect people wherever they are. Just respect that and just go with it. And I've never gone wrong, although I am ignorant again with the pronouns. I do avoid them, and that's probably bad of me. I should ask what people's pronouns are rather than slip up.
Part of the problem I'm still having with the they them is because those weren't commonly used in the LGBT groups that I've been in over the last 30 years. That people were more pressing for using Z and Zer.
I miss Z and Zer. I miss that. I miss it. They were trashed by the newer YouTubers.
Oh yeah,
like
dude, 2016 was all about trashing that.
Totally.
Yeah, that was just before I got onto YouTube.
I miss all
2016, bro. That was the tits. No, I know what you want to do. No, I don't want my YouTube channel shut down.
Take it to your OnlyFans,
which they do have, by the way.
I fucking love professional whore.
What's going to happen on Mars? That's what I worry about. We keep throwing these Wallies up there. Robots, they're going to procreate in the end, aren't they, if you leave them untouched?
Well, you see, you joke, but you know those family decals people put on their windshields?
Oh, it's so cute!
Oh, yeah.
One of those is on the Perseverance.
Yeah, they put one on Perseverance, and I love it.
Oh, that's funny.
What's the one on the Perseverance have?
Purple, you know those decals people put on their windshield, like the daddy, the mommy, and however many kids, and the dog.
Daddy? Don't say daddy. Don't say daddy. Say dad.
Okay.
The dad, the mom, the kids, the dog, the cat, whatever. Those decals that go on the back of the car, the people at NASA put one of those decals on Perseverance
with all the previous.
Yeah, the Sojourner, the other.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
It's so
the
cute.
other rovers, and then it's the Perseverance, and to the side and just above is the Ingenuity, the helicopter that landed on Mars with the Perseverance.
Well, my name isn't on that Perseverance. My name is going up on a 2026 launch to Mars. But I put it on a tweet today. With all the alien probing that's going on, would you actually want your name up there? I wouldn't want an alien come down probing me, because I'm guessing them anal probes are quite advanced now. I would have thought.
Yeah, I've got a cartoon panel of that with the aliens coming down, and the guy's asking them, what's with all the anal probes? And the alien pulls out the thing from the Voyager and says, well, you sent us unsolicited nudes with your address.
That's it. But I always remember that quote on that film, that Simon Pegg, Nick Frost film, Paul. I don't know if you've seen it. It's called Paul.
I didn't see that,
Seth-
but I know the film.
Seth Rogen plays the alien, and he says, "What is it with you thinking we anal probe? What are we harvesting? We harvesting farts or something?"
See, right here is my boarding pass for the Perseverance.
Okay, did you really want to put your name out publicly?
I don't care.
Okay.
Unicorn Cat has said my name a couple of times already.
Yeah, but not your last name. That's what I was more concerned with there.
Miller is
Well-
about as white bread a name as you get.
Yeah. Oh, no, mine's worse.
Benjamin Miller is fucking white bread. You're not
Yeah,
gonna find.
I
with
tried
them.
to Google my name in the city I live in. I got 600 results, none of which applied to me.
I am the only person in this city with my first and last name. Just saying, because you can check that shit. I am the only person with my first and last name.
Yeah, which is
in the
why I
city.
will not divulge the city.
Yeah,
name.
which is why I didn't say it.
I was actually surprised when I found quite a few people have the same name as I do. I was actually surprised.
Yeah, there's a lot of people with my name. It's just this specific city and this specific spelling too.
Well, I can figure out what city you're in. I just zoom in on the background and look up the location of where that pizza box came from.
That is beer.
What pizza box?
No.
Yeah, that's
In
beer.
one of your other videos, there was like a stack of pizza
Are you
boxes.
talking
That occurred to me.
Are you
Yeah.
talking about this?
Yeah, that's alcohol. Because we're alcoholics.
Yeah, I couldn't see it that clearly here, but one of your other videos, there were a
that's
couple of
Mike's Hard
pizza
Lemonade.
boxes.
Good luck. I mean, this will narrow it down.
Yeah.
But not
What?
enough.
I have a Christian family. Why would you do that?
You know what?
Yeah,
I say
You have to be careful about
California.
that.
A
Yeah, when
million.
I was in
say-
Michigan, I was worried about it. Now that I finally got out of there, it's not a big deal to me.
Yeah,
Mostly
see,
because in that small town, I was afraid that it could come back and cause a problem for my brother and my sister.
Yeah. Oh. If I can cause any fucking problems for my siblings, I fucking will.
Okay. I have
That's the
8
difference between
siblings.
us.
I have 8 siblings. There's only 2 of them that I really care about.
I don't care about a single one of my siblings. I hope they all die of painful deaths.
Yeah.
No, trust me. I feel I have
Good
out
for
of-
you that you have a good family though.
in just in the town where I live, I have I think it's like 19 cousins that still live in this town.
Well,
I don't talk to
honestly,
any of them.
honestly, the reason I haven't had a date in over 6 years was because where I was living, I wasn't going to take the risk because I was related to more than half the county within 3 generations.
Oh, so you had a Jon Snow kind of situation.
Yeah.
Okay, so
You know, I was just afraid that I was going to find out after a date that that was one of my cousins.
Oh, that's
So
awful.
my thing is, my father's a whore, and I mean that in a negative way, not like I'm a whore. Does that make sense? Like he's a piece of shit about it, and I swear every year I find out I have a new sibling in the town that I lived in. So as a teenager, I was petrified of dating someone in the town I lived in, just in case it was my brother or sister, because I wasn't about to take that fucking chance. So I relate to that so much.
Well, Kat, you know what the difference is between a whore and a bitch? Actually, it was between a slut and a bitch. Well, a slut sleeps with anyone. A bitch sleeps with anyone but you.
Oh,
The way I
I'm
look
writing
at
that
it-
down.
The way I look at it is, I will, other than jokingly calling like myself a whore or something, if I actually call someone a whore, that means they're like spreading STDs and stuff. Like they're being
Yeah.
dirty about it. Does that make sense?
It does because I'm so anti slut shaming. It's not even funny.
Well-
So am I. But if you're purposefully spreading STDs and stuff,
Yeah.
That's different. That's different.
yeah, and that's my father.
Here in
Well-
LA, like disclosure is huge. It is not rare for someone to be like, "Hey, let's go get a test" when you first meet them. You know,
Oh, I'm
Disclosure
always
is
like that.
huge.
Well, the only reason I didn't do it with him is because I know he didn't get laid in a while, so I didn't have him get tested.
I have to keep correcting people that I'm not a whore because whores get paid for it. Since it's just a hobby, I'm only a slut.
So I'm a
I
whore.
get paid for it.
I get paid shit money because of Corona, but I get paid.
Hey, like I say, if I thought anybody would pay me for it, I'd be putting it out there.
Hey, there's an audience for anything. I promise.
I
There's
say
an
that all the
audience for
time.
everything.
I say that all the time.
Yeah, you might not think someone will like your body type.
Well,
Trust me, there's someone out there.
yeah, I know what you mean because I have been on FetLife.
Are we going back to foot fetishes then? Are we?
Well, if you want
Anything
to,
you can name, someone
I've
is
gotten
it's somebody's fetish.
$1,000 from sending feet pic. Don't shame. I've gotten thousands of dollars from
In
that.
fact, be jealous.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
I had a friend asking about how you get into that because, she would be okay with it if she didn't have to show her face.
You don't have to. No, you don't
Yeah,
have to. Like, you can crop your face out, blur it out.
Yeah.
You don't have to. They're mostly not looking at your face anyways.
There are whole
It's so
Pornhub channels. Like the one that first comes to mind is No Face Girl.
There's a
Like
gang.
she literally
Can I say
angles the
this?
cameras so her
Yep.
face is out of the picture.
Can I say gangbang? I mean, I already did.
Sure.
There's a gangbang channel that I follow. Everybody's face gets blurred out. No one's looking at the face. Just
That's
tell her I
because
said
they're
that.
all
No one
school
looks at the
teachers
face.
and librarians. That's what.
Treatail is confused and asexual right now. I feel sorry for her because we've been hammering on this
Yeah.
topic a lot.
You and I are complete opposites. I am like hypersexual.
You're hypersexual.
So I'm the exact opposite of you.
Yeah, well, honestly, that's why I've found it so interesting getting to know Tria, is because, I really, the whole asexual thing is the hardest part of the spectrum for me to understand.
Same, because I'm just like, I understand the science behind it, but like on an emotional level, I don't get it. Does that make sense? Because
Yeah.
I am always horny. Like, that's not an exact. I am always horny.
Yeah. Like those of us who know who Alucard the Fucker on Twitter is,
No, I don't know that.
No,
get
I
it.
don't know.
horny on me constantly.
That's the person that you got to message me, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I found out that this person had like several girlfriends and several boyfriends, and I'm like, message me.
But there's no better anger management technique than talking crap for a few hours. I found that.
Yeah.
Just talk absolute nonsense and shit and have a laugh about it and for a few hours. And what anger.
Yeah.
That's why I miss going out. Because you can go
Yeah.
out and,
I
have
must have
fun with
anger
friends.
issues because I'm still pissed.
You see, it's funny because Treatail says Alucard's already hit on her. But like,
Wait, is it her or they? Because you've said both. Does it matter?
I think Treatail's she her.
I think Tria goes with her.
Tria, you're
Could you
I
correct
think she's
it?
still good with she.
yeah. You're in the chat right now, Tria.
Yeah.
She her or they them.
Because I've heard both.
But I mean, like, Alucard has hit on me, and just to shut him up, I sent him a picture of my nipple.
I've seen the name on Twitter. I haven't really had any
Alex-
direct interactions there.
I haven't got a problem with Alucard. I think they are all right as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I have things that, people send those things around on Twitter about the list of sexual activities to add up your score, and I'm more like, okay. And I'm more like, do you mean a lifetime or the most in one night?
Yeah. Every single time those things go out, I get complete score.
Yeah. The
Especially-
last one that went,
100%.
there wasn't a single thing on the list that I haven't done.
Yeah,
I
especially
feel like I'm one of those people that have done everything on the list, and I'm always like, wow, I'm a whore. Whenever I see
I'm
those weird
proud.
lists.
My thing is, you know how most people are like, let's get the least amount of numbers on this list? I'm like, my goal is to check mark all of it. Like, this is a bucket list here.
I used to think it was normal until I saw other people score, and they're like,
Same.
I scored a 10, and I'm like, oh, I got 31. I'm a hoe.
Same.
Well,
Big fucking the last one of those I did. I think the max score you could get was like 19 or 20,000. Like this.
Yeah, the last one I saw, I
And-
just responded, I'm not going to do the math. You can just add up the total.
That's what
Yeah.
I do. I'll say I've done all but 3 or 4, and I'm like, you can do the math there.
Yeah, I think it was Alucard who shared it. He's like, I got 18 or 9. Yeah, like 18,000, and I'm like, I got 12,000. You know, like because I'd done everything that didn't involve another deck. That's the best summation of it.
So I was born in the 60s, so growing up in the 70s, 80s, I became probably sexually aware and active sort of thing.
Okay, so you're about the same age I am then.
Yeah, well, you'll remember them days. To be fair, Purple, dating back then was a lot different. You know, you had to be a gentleman about it, and there was a lot of hair. There was hair everywhere. I mean, women with happy trails don't appeal to me now, but that was our choice back then. There was no personal grooming under the clothes. You
Yeah.
You know, you'd
Most
undress a
people
woman and think Sasquatch as soon as you undressed a woman. You think, my God.
You see, you want Sasquatch? Is everyone okay if I take my shirt off? Just for like the example here.
Yeah, go on.
Oh, go
I don't
ahead.
care.
Okay, you want Sasquatch?
Roll your shirt around a few times.
I am fucking hairy as shit.
Bill, can I ask you this? Does that
I'm
come in a V? Does that come in a V-neck?
I mean, it's a partial button down, so no. Yeah, but I mean, like, yeah, buttons.
I'm happy
It's not
now.
a V.
Well,
It's,
these are things the sort of things that prove evolution. All these, hair follicles that are on the body, hair follicles on the body, goosebumps. I mean, what are the point of goosebumps when they turn up? I mean, that's obviously a sort of reaction, a nervous reaction from when we were at some other animals. You know, your ears were once gills. You got this traces of a third eyelid, appendix. There's plenty of vestigial organs that obviously religion ignores.
Yeah. Well, I always argue that if you want to claim that humans were intelligently designed, you have to accept that the designer was incompetent.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
I mean, look at it this way. This is probably the ultimate expression that human beings are not designed. People who have prostates.
Why?
Yeah.
Like
Why?
the prostate is often called the male G-spot.
Did you
It's in the sewer.
did
Yeah.
you
Just
know
saying.
that females have a G spot and an A spot? It's a thing that I recently found out, and it's my new obsession for the short time period. For no reason other than scientific research, of course.
Mhm.
well, entering the A spot to me seems like I'd have to shower afterwards.
I just want to know if we're
No,
if
this
we're
is farther
supposed to be
back
the
than
pinnacle of creation. I just want to know, why can a frog or a salamander regenerate a lost limb, and I can't
But we
regrow the
can't.
fingers I hit in the saw?
Oh, that would be
But
awesome
you know,
if
we're
we grew
God's
parts back.
favorite creation.
Mhm.
Well,
Yeah.
this is it. Ken Ham changed his tune recently, and on an AIG blog he put up about because he was always boasting that the Earth is 6,000 years old from creation.
Yep.
He's now made that 20,000, about 20,000 years old now.
Oh, really?
But yeah, you can't get around Hinduism and other facts. Plus, carbon dating, they say, oh, that's about 15,000. It's accurate to about 15,000 years carbon dating.
I didn't know he had extended that.
The Egyptian Empire by itself predates creation by 4,000 years. So
yeah, well, the Ark Boy also has to explain why the Egyptian Empire didn't disappear in the flood.
Oh well, this is it.
And the various Chinese empires didn't disappear in the flood.
Yeah, but I mean, the Bible talks about the history of Egypt, so it's already there. He's got to explain why it's there before and after the flood.
It's heavily plagiarized. Of course it is. I mean, you've got Gideon as 300 fighters fighting hundreds of thousands of enemies. That was an old Greek Spartan fable. Mm-hmm. You've got the flood are in most historical documents or Bible.
Yeah.
Well, you can't. If you treat the Bible as anything more than what it is, they should change in the beginning to Once Upon a Time and just put it on the fiction shelves. And the story
shocks me.
Every society, every culture is going to have a flood story.
Exactly.
Because every agricultural society starts on a floodplain.
Has to. But okay, so I recall one of Ken Ham's arguments, and probably Ray Comfort and the various young Earth creationist types. Like they say that the current Earth population makes perfect sense from a creation standpoint, but let's take it really far back to almost immediately after the flood, within say 1,000 years after the flood. Why are their civilizations so fast? Because I mean, it's going to take way longer than that through incest.
You're confusing the story with fact, though. You're confusing the story with fact.
You know what I just realized? Whether it's Adam and Eve or evolution, which I wonder which one I think is right, either way, we started from incest.
Yeah. And by the way, it would be Adam and Steve because Adam's rib would have had only male DNA, so...
But either way...
It's Adam and Steve.
Either way, we started from incest, and that makes me all sorts of uncomfy.
Yeah, but let's make it better, because after the flood, they had to do incest all over again.
Imagine how... I can't say that word. I'm autistic. Can I say the R word?
What, Republicans?
Is it like faggot? Like gay people can say it?
You can say Republicans. They're right into incest.
I
think it's Junk Shop's intro that he's got Holy Bible crossed out and inserted instead the Big Book of Incest and Murder.
Yeah, but no, like you get what I'm saying though. Like imagine how like brain fucked their kids are with that much incest.
Yeah.
Imagine.
They had to make rules to stop people from doing it.
Yeah, jeez.
Try Tales make me laugh in the comments. Jeez. I'll have to follow her on Twitter.
Oh, she linked already. Fix that.
Wait, what's
Tray Tale.
What did she say?
It's just what she's saying. What we're talking about. It just made me laugh.
Okay, anyways, back to my question, though. So, black people can say the N-word. It's okay for only them to do it. Gay people can say faggot. Can autistic people say the R-word? Like, is it the same thing? I'm actually just trying to understand. I'm curious.
No, I'm going to tell you honestly, I'm sensitive towards the word, but yeah. I've worked with mentally disabled people basically my whole life. Like, my parents property, so I'm trained to be offended for that word.
I would say that autistics shouldn't use it just because it refers to a much larger group than just autistics. Yeah. So there are some people in the group who wouldn't like it.
Like my son says it, and I correct him every time.
R word. See, that's why I was just wondering, because I'm not like a huge fan of it, but I was just curious if it like was the same concept. Does that make sense?
Like,
well, no, but
I get a voting.
Yeah, no,
but-
as an insult, no. But like,
retardation is a word in technical engineering. It's used a lot in engineering. It's an engineering term, but to you, it means to make things backwards.
yeah.
Context. It's always
To
context.
to use it to refer to someone's brain is horrid. I think.
Yeah, I think more talking about myself, like I call myself a faggot, and I jokingly, like insult.
so-
Do you know what I mean?
I agree with you on that, but I'll tell you, I was in Las Vegas one time on the gay side of town. I was walking by myself. I was leaving bars, and a group of a car pulled up, and a bunch of dudes were like, "You're a faggot. You're on this side of town." Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I thought they were gonna kill me.
Oh yeah.
I thought they were gonna
yeah.
jump out of their car and kill me. And I could run really fast. But it was like 3 a.m. It was in the middle of Vegas. No one was around, So it's all context.
Someone else.
I can fight too, and I was still like, "Oh, these guys are gonna kill me." So it's all context.
The C word in the UK has a total different infliction than it does in America. It's a term of endearment.
I see.
So we'll be standing at a bar, and I call my friend a daft cunt, and that he wouldn't think anything of it. But in America, I know it's frowned upon, isn't it? Really, that word.
And then you'll get some 30, like early 30s something chick who's like, "I love Daft Punk."
All right. But this is it. Yeah, I think a lot of language is locational as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, the R word is not nice anywhere. I don't think in the world. But fuck is acceptable. Fuck is where in any language, everyone knows what fuck is. It's international.
Oh, I say it as a person, place, or thing.
Yes.
I love
comma.
it. Absolutely.
Fuck is a fucking comma.
It's and you never know what you like. I got caught off guard, and I said "holy fuck balls," and people still say that. It just came, and I just blurted it out.
Well, this is it. It's internationally recognised, and it can be used in so many ways. In anger, in joy, in glee. It's just
Noun, adjective, verb.
It's a very word that is
Fuck is the only word
versatile.
that can be used for any part of speech.
It's versatile.
You can have an entire sentence made out of the various forms of fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It can be a noun, a verb, an adjective, an adverb, anything you need it for.
Yep.
Yeah.
Literally all of it.
The superior word, is that what you're saying?
Yep. It's the master word.
Especially
Oh,
like-
and Tria points out that fuck is gender neutral.
Yeah, it is actually.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
I was just about to say, like, I could say, "I'm so fucked." That could mean multiple things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could be
It's
multiple
like the
things.
ultimate non-binary word. I think Envy should probably adopt it.
Yeah.
Definitely
You
in my
know, that's
vocabulary.
That's
What
like
you
the
say?
thing
What you
that I
sitting
like
on, Will?
most.
A fucking chair.
Yeah, but if you were so fucked, I'd just like to wonder what was on that chair.
Well, that's like
it
the thing
does
that I like
fucking
most about
thing.
that. The posh British accent is
Can you hear the
everything's in the
vibrating?
inflection.
Well,
That, good day, sir, can mean anything from nice weather we're having to fuck off.
yeah, there's a lot of Britain have here in the UK we have how can I put it? There's a sort of there's a context in the language that you just automatically understand.
Mhm.
You know when to take something badly or when to take something as a friendly. it, it's so hard to explain. You'd have to be here to see it, to be fair.
But that's why I mean it's so clear there. That being autistic, I don't get the inflections or the implications in things, and I take everything literally.
Yeah,
With certain British accents, it's really very clear.
That's a issue that I run into pretty regularly with Unicorn Cat. They don't get sarcasm, and the fact that so much of my verbal delivery is deadpan.
Yeah, and
it fucks them up so bad.
I had to learn that too.
So, I can tease people and I know what I mean, right? Like, I can insult him, I know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
But if he insults me, I don't get it. So I'll go from happy to depressed like that. And it would
totally unintentional too. It's just like I have always delivered. Any joke has always been for me delivered in a deadpan way. So like Jonah, I can't Friedlander, Jonah Friedlander, that dude. Like all of his comedy is deadpan. I'm like that.
Yeah, and it sucks. At least you're not like my ex. My ex would get mad at me for it. Granted, we didn't know I was autistic, but still, like, me not understanding that you're joking isn't something to get mad about.
You know what? It took me a while to. Sorry.
But I'll get depressed and like just start apologizing and like get on the brink of tears. And he'll be like, "Dude, I'm kidding." I'll be like, "Oh."
That even happens in real life because I go from like I'm the same. Like I don't change my inflections when I tell jokes. I had to stop saying "you're killing me" because my son thought that everything was literally killing me. It was just something I would say, "Oh, you're killing me, me," and he thought I was dying.
That's kind of cute, though.
He told my ex-wife, he's like, I think Dad's dying because he's always saying that something's killing him.
That's adorable.
I was like, oh no, it's an expression.
Well, this is where the UK sort of shine where the English language is concerned, because we can show sarcasm and anger without actually physically showing it. Where Americans, you see it on the films and the shows when they get, they're more literal with their language, and they will back it up with pointing fingers and shouting and looking irate. Where the English don't have to do that. As calm as you like, you'll know when someone's pissed off with you or angry with you, even if he's just talking to you calm.
I say it's
being from LA, where people like it's a tough place. People Americans are extremely sensitive. Some of the most gangster, tough people. I've known bikers. I've known gangsters. They're the most sensitive human beings you'll ever meet. Some of those, I'm not even calling them teddy bears. They're just sensitive, And I know because I'm extremely sensitive, but I'm open about it, Some people Americans take things to heart, and I say that as an American.
My ex had gang leader, whatever they call it. He was top of a gang. I don't fucking know what they call it. And I forget what I said, but I said something jokingly to like tease him, and he got so fucking pissed. And I was expecting him to be a fucking badass, but he just got offended by everything.
Well, but my best friend's dad, he's very old now. The last few years just got over prostate cancer, and he lives with my best friend. He's a brilliant old man, and he said, I remember I was round there one day, and he says, "Oh, I'm not feeling well today," and I said, "That's because you're old and falling to bits, you old git." And to most people, that would be, "Oh, that's so rude," and he just started laughing because it's telling the truth, but we don't take things the way a lot of people do. We have a different way with language, I suppose. But we know how to be offensive, if you can understand that.
there's a bar by my house that I used to go to years ago, and they still have a sign on the patio that says, "Please do not talk about religion or politics," and it's a guaranteed fist fight in this town.
Yeah, we have that. We have them. We have them in the UK. No, we don't talk about religion or politics in the UK. It's
Especially
pointless.
if you're drinking. 'Cause that was
Or-
never a good idea.
Well, we basically do what we're doing here, talking nonsense and have a laugh.
Yeah.
We take the piss out of each other. We all
Yeah,
that's
we
you
all
know
have similar views.
ju-
Yeah.
pick on each other's flaws and nonsense and whatnot, and we just have a laugh about it.
For
Get
me,
drunk.
fights would start if somebody overheard me saying something to my friend. Like, it's so different in America. If someone overhears you saying something and they're drunk, they will be like, "Hey, you hurt my feelings. Let's fight."
I think each and every one of you on this stream now would thrive in the UK. I think you do great here.
Probably. This is probably a pretty good place to close it out because it is almost 3 a.m. here.
Okay.
I just want to
It's almost 8 here.
There's a friend of mine who takes really fucking amazing pictures. Like this dude is shit. He has a degree in theoretical physics, but he takes these fantastic images of celestial bodies. Like the one I'm looking at is a picture of a snow moon. He has pictures of Jupiter and Saturn that he regularly posts on Instagram. And this is the one that he just posted like 3 hours ago. Fuck, it looks like shit on there. Come on. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's going to look terrible through that, but like these pictures are fantastic. So,
The moon is fake.
yeah, it is. It's also cheese.
Yeah.
That would be awesome if it was made of cheese.
Do that now. I want cheese.
I want you.
That would be
There you
awesome.
go. I got port wine cheese and crackers here.
Yeah. So Unicorn Cat and I are gonna go scrounge for cheese.
No, I'm too lazy. I have to go downstairs for that.
You know the good thing about now is it's Sunday and you don't have to go for church. All hail atheism.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I
You have a
grew up
nice sleep in.
I grew up Catholic. I dreaded every Sunday morning because I knew no matter what, I was going to church.
I went to Catholic school and that was every day for me.
In my teenage years, I went to the youth mass, which was in the evening. I fucking loved it because I got to sleep in. But this is probably a good place to cut it off because
It's two.
Awesome.
It is almost 3:00 in the morning. You have me up at 3:00 in the morning.
Stop putting in.
that is
Play with your crayons.
I am not the adult. Okay, you are the adult. Let me stay up till 3.
yeah.
Well, Bubs, can I just say I had a great laugh. It was brilliant. Impromptu stream was lots of fun. Thank you.
Oh yeah.
This was a great time.
Because I was in it.
I was procrastinating from sewing, so thank you. You've helped me procrastinate.
Hey, you know what? I'm gonna say the same thing to you that a friend of mine in high school told me. Procrastination is like masturbation. It feels good in the moment, but in the end, you're just screwing yourself.
Unscrewing yourself is more fun.
Well, we got a lot.
For the record,
Go
I
on,
like
Will.
to screw myself. I like to screw myself in life, literally and figuratively.
I think we all do that to an extent.
Yes, fun.
I think we got a lot of shit straightened out tonight. I think we got a lot of shit straightened out. The world should watch this stream.
We stopped the
they'll
world's problems.
Yeah,
But,
exactly.
I'm gonna go ahead and hit end broadcast now, and off live stream we can all talk about our own personal masturbation habits.
Oh, I feel like that.
Take it easy, everybody. I'll see you all.
Thanks, guys.
Later on.
Save the sex talks for the after show as opposed to what we've been talking about.
Yeah.